local, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabbruds. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabbruds, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds. Gubrud's. Gabbruds.com.
Are you Sac Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
Maybe it could be said that New Year's resolutions are simply meant to be broken. If, like most people, you've already abandoned your promise to live healthier in 2026, you're not alone. But when it comes to being healthy and happy, it's never too late to hit that reset button and start living your best life. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we get older, things change. A lot of us will experience lower energy levels. Some of us may experience a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can be caused by low testosterone levels, which can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center located in Midtown. Living your best life is something you can get started on today. Visit gettingbetternow.com.
The new year is here, a fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed, they earn six-figure incomes, 2/3 own their own homes, and they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer, so your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Congratulations to Team USA. The men's hockey quarterfinals in overtime. They light the lamp. They beat Sweden 2-1, and they're on to the semifinals. Man, what a game that was. You into Olympic hockey? It's funny how many people watch Olympic hockey. It's kind of like some of the other sports. I watch hockey all the time, but it's amazing to me how many people never watch hockey until the Olympics. I'm the same way with a lot of sports. Swimming, I don't watch unless it's an Olympic year. Track and field, I don't watch unless it's an Olympic year. There are sports that I only watch once every 4 years. Hockey, not one of them. I watch hockey, as I said, every year and love it. But, boy, Olympic hockey is great. So congratulations there. All right, so for the Sacramento Kings, pretty much been the theme of the entire year. Domas, that's right, he had successful surgery on his left knee to repair a partial torn meniscus. How often do you hear in sports that an individual, and I'm going to keep it to sports, had unsuccessful surgery? Have you ever heard of an athlete, and I really mean this, that has gone in for surgery regardless of the sport, and they come out and go, so-and-so had unsuccessful surgery today? I really that. Have we ever heard that term before? Have we ever heard that in sports? Whether it's an Achilles, whether it's a knee, even the most horrific injuries. So-and-so had unsuccessful surgery today. Cam Scattaboo. I mean, you never hear that. It's like successful surgery, successful. I get a kick out of that terminology because, like, how often do you hear of an athlete that had unsuccessful surgery? Incredible. Keegan Murray, a full participant today. He will play tomorrow against the Orlando Magic. We've got so much other. DeAndre Hunter, full participant today. And Zach LaVine, surgery today to repair a tendon tear in his right finger. There you have it. Cody said, how about Alex Smith, Grant? Yeah, but not when he first had the surgery. It was after his initial surgery where the grave concern and the issues surrounding his ordeal, which has been very well chronicled, and it is an amazing, I guess, period of time in his life about efforts to save his leg and everything else. But when he first had the surgery, okay, and that was really a life-threatening situation for a while. Not initially, to the best of my recollection, but still, Cody, the point I'm trying to make is it's always successful. It seems like 99.999% of the time, it's always successful. All right, so the Kings, with 26 games left, you had Adam Silver, who came out over the weekend and talked in very stern terms about how the league would handle any ongoing tanking. You know, in the Kings case, without Levine and without Sabonis, and now without Dylan Cardwell, by the way, you know, we hadn't really gotten into him, a sprained ankle in practice, and he is going to be out now 4 weeks, which is really unfortunate for him. It really is. But Dylan Cardwell sprained left ankle yesterday, and he won't even be evaluated for 4 weeks. And here we are on what? The 18th? The 18th of February? His season's almost done. Almost. All right, I'm really excited about the guest that I have coming up today. In addition to Olden Polynice, who's on every Wednesday, he'll be on at 4 o'clock. Scott Pollard today at 5 o'clock. And with the Kings positioned, looking like that they are going to have a top 4 pick, and maybe, you never know, maybe the first pick in the upcoming NBA draft. That will, of course, be determined in May with the lottery, or whenever that is. I believe it's early May. There are a lot of players that we are keeping an eye on, all right? And one of those players is Darren Peterson from the Kansas Jayhawks. Scott, of course, a Kansas alum, and Scott will come on and talk to us about Darren Peterson and the rest of college basketball. But more importantly, he just had his 2-year anniversary of his new heart. So we'll check in with him on how he's doing, what the 2 years has been like, and talk some basketball as well. That's with Scott Pollard coming up today at 5 o'clock. So here we are, post-NFL. We're still kind of adjusting our life. And I guess the Olympics for many people have kind of filled that void. But the Olympics are coming to an end soon. And then what? What, are you going to turn your attention to college basketball? Yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about Sac State football. And I got to tell you, all right? I got to tell you, the more that I look at this, the more absurd and ridiculous this whole thing is. I mean, I don't get it. I still don't get it. I really don't. Tomorrow, I'm really looking forward to my guest because I'm going to have on Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports, and he wrote a big story on this. And I've been seeing a lot of others weigh in, some that know what they're talking about, some that don't know what they're talking about. Okay? And Ross knows what he's talking about. And he had some very good facts in there. And it's been announced by, well, I shouldn't say announced, but that the commissioner for the MAC said that the Sacramento State's midweek home games will start in the 4 to 5 p.m. local time window. Gee, that ought to be great. What are you going to have, 5,000 people for those games? The part of all of this, as I continue to digest this, that continues to be just absurdity, okay, is from the president of Sacramento State, who I don't know, and I'm certainly not going to discredit this individual, Dr. Luke Wood, because why would I? I don't know him, and I'm certainly not going to attack his credibility. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to ask him, where does he come up with these numbers, regardless of whether you used a consulting firm or not? I go back to common sense. I'm a common sense guy. And when Dr. Wood puts out on his social media account that an estimated economic impact of $975 million and a national broadcast value of $675 million over the next 5 years is, to me, flat out delusional. And it is something that is so far-fetched and so absurd and so ridiculous that I'm not even sure how to comment on it. Okay? I really don't. If you think that Sacramento State joining the Mid-American Conference is going to have an estimated economic impact over 5 years of $975 million, you are delusional. Okay? I mean, that is the most absurd, ridiculous, I mean, just out of line, impossible, not obtainable. You got to be kidding me. And the more and more I read on this, and the more and more people that cover college football that talk about this, that have had anything positive to say about it, are few and far between. There are those in Sacramento here, right here in Sacramento, that are trying to put positive spin on it because, well, I understand that. But nobody outside of Sacramento, nobody, not one individual that I've seen outside of Sacramento has had a positive spin on this. You got to be kidding me. An estimated economic impact of $975 million? Come on now. You got to be kidding me. Come on. Yesterday, I talked about the estimated revenue from some of the teams in the MAC. Right? I talked about Central Michigan generating approximately $7 million in revenue. I talked about Ohio University, their entire athletic revenue. It generated 15 to 20 million annually. That's the entire athletic department. You got to be kidding me. We're talking about Sacramento State here. We're not talking about Alabama and Tuscaloosa. We're not talking about LSU and Baton Rouge. We're talking about Sacramento State. And you're telling me that an estimated economic impact of $975 million, I think your estimation is off by several $100 million. And I don't know anything about economics. I don't know anything about financing. I don't know anything about this other than common sense. From the 916, Grant is the federal deficit Sacramento State's consultant. Maybe. Can you imagine a weekday game at Sacramento State between 4 and 5? Good luck if you're trying to go to the game and getting there for a 4 or 5 o'clock start. Amazing. And listen, I've said this. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see it be great for this community. I would love for this to be the gateway to big-time college football in Sacramento. But I'm sorry, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And in the meantime, for 5 years, you're going to have to travel a minimum of 2,177 miles for every conference game. And if you go to UMass, it's an eyelash under 3,000 miles. Have fun flying across the country to go play at UMass or Buffalo or Central Michigan. Go play the Rockets in Toledo. Go to Miami, not Miami, Florida, Miami of Ohio in Oxford. 2,263 miles. Go to beautiful Muncie, Indiana, and I've been there many times for Ball State, 2,222 miles. The home of the great shooter Ray McCallum. Been there many times. Been to all these schools many times. Well, I have not been to Buffalo, and I have not been to UMass. But everywhere else I've been to multiple times. And you're going to generate that much money in 5 years? Really? And that's what you're selling the community on for a conference that's not very good? That is the doormat of the Big Ten? And I haven't even talked about all of the expenditures you're making to get this deal. The national media, okay? I'm just telling you this. The national media is destroying this deal from Sacramento's perspective on everywhere I've read. It's like, what? It's like, what? You know? Man. Incredible. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about more with Darren Peterson, who, again, I don't know if you believe these reports or not. Already the stories are leaking out. He doesn't want to be in Sacramento or Utah. I'm going to tell you right now, and I already know what Scott's going to say, so I don't want to spoil what he's going to say for a variety of reasons. Number one, he's one of my very best friends. And number two, I already know how Scott feels about players that play sometimes and don't play other times. So I'm going to wait for Scott to come on. But of all of the players that look great in this draft, all right, he's the one guy that I would stay away from. But we'll get into this at 5 o'clock with Scott Pollard. Before that, though, at 4 o'clock, we'll have Olden Polynice on. 779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. From the 916, one of the best hockey games I've seen in a long time was the Canadian men's hockey team this morning. They were down a goal with 3 minutes, and they tied it up. Played the overtime with 3 skaters and still pulled out the win. I missed the game. I read about it, but it did seem like a great game. You know, Olympic hockey is great. It is absolutely great. We'll be back. We'll talk about these topics and more right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are Fox. Decisions determine results. So which path do I want to take? Help people in need or stand on the sidelines watching? Worry about how to pay for school or have my education paid for? Push myself and learn new skills or stay the same? My decision is to serve part-time with the Army National Guard, and my results will be life-changing. What will you decide? Go to NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters.
Hey, folks, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? I've got awesome news because DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. Owner Nick Delancey and his family, hey, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're excited to help out a veteran or family in need. Just go to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or, hey, someone you know to receive one. And yes, it comes with installation. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org, click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally-owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Are you Sac Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
916-779-0929 OP coming up at 4 o'clock. Scott Pollard at 5 o'clock. And Ryan, as we turn our attention to tomorrow, the Kings with 26 games left. Now, what will the starting lineup look like?
I haven't even given it a thought.
Yeah,
it's a great question.
Does it even matter?
It kind of does.
Okay.
For the guys that have been out that need to get some action, like Keegan Murray. So he will definitely be in there. No decision on Hunter yet. His status is coming, quote unquote, soon.
What about Russell Westbrook? Do you start him?
I do not personally, but what do you think will happen?
I think they'll start him just because with 26 games left and the fact that Doug Christie is so in love with Russell Westbrook, I don't know if he could stand living with himself if he didn't start Russell Westbrook.
Okay. So house money, let's put together the starting lineup that we think we'll see and the starting lineup that we would like to see.
Okay. Well, Nick Clifford's going to start.
Okay.
Agree?
Agree.
Keegan Murray is going to start.
With you.
Precious is going to start. Just I'm looking at all the numbers.
Okay.
I mean, if not, then who's going to start?
Max.
Is it going to be Eubanks? Is it going to be Max Raynell? Well, of course it's going to be Max, but who's going to play alongside him? Is Keegan going to play the 4? Is he going to play the 3? DeMar DeRozan's going to start. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So your front line then, help me out here. Your front line is going to be DeRozan, Murray, and Raynell, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then your backcourt, is it going to be Monk playing at the 2? Is it going to be Neek alongside Westbrook? And then Carter comes off the bench? Or is there another combination you see there?
It's going to be Neek and Westbrook starting, which I think it should actually be, call me crazy, but what do you have to lose? 12 games. I would go with a Devin Carter combination back there with Neek. They've got to learn it sometime. This is on-the-job training the last 26 games. But that also, if you go Westbrook and Neek, that gives you the second ball handler to play off of Neek if he can't do it all himself. And off the bench, you have the same for Devin Carter with Malik Monk on the court.
All right, here's the other aspect of all of this. You just heard the commissioner. You saw a fine right before the All-Star break of $500,000 to the Jazz for basically resting key players, particularly down the stretch of a game. If you take a player, regardless of how he's performed, Russell Westbrook is one of the leader in minutes played and with all of the starts. What happens if that changes from the perspective of the league? And on top of that, you already are without Zach LaVine and you're without Domantas Sabonis. How's that going to look?
Unless the Kings did something completely egregious where Westbrook doesn't play, DeRozan doesn't play, then I think the Kings are going to be okay. Adam Silver drew a little bit, in my opinion, a line in the sand between the bad teams that have lost playing their best players and the teams that are trying to lose and not playing their best players. And the Kings fall into the first category. They watch a lot of basketball at the NBA office. They're not stupid. The Kings are bad. So realistically, this is the time you wind those minutes down. I don't think it affects the Kings and any tanking fines that may be incoming. Because quite frankly, Grant, I think those fines would have already been here. They would have been part of that first group.
What do you think, folks? 916-779-0929. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the Olympics since we just had a thrilling day of hockey. I didn't see the Canada game. I did watch parts of the U.S.-Sweden game, a dramatic goal in overtime as they advanced to the semifinals. How much of the Olympics are you watching? I'll tell you, if I didn't know any better, just randomly turning on the TV during odd times of the day, I would think that curling is the only sport in the Olympics. I mean, enough of the curling. Would you please? Enough of the curling. Get it off my TV. It is driving me freaking crazy.
Wait,
it's unbelievable.
I've got to cross out segment 3 because we're not going to talk about the Canadian controversy about touching the stone twice.
Oh,
come on,
gosh.
Come on, Napes.
I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Seriously, but that's all I'm seeing. It's like enough already.
Okay.
Enough.
It is a fascinating sport, though. All of the stones come from one part of Scotland.
Yes, I've seen it from the golf course I played at over there. Yes, that is correct.
You know, like it's fascinating to me. It's bizarre.
It's not
a little
fascinating
weird
to me every day, all day. It's not that fascinating to me. All right, it's like, give me 5 minutes of it and then switch to something else, would you please?
But see,
and I understand it takes great skill. I'm not diminishing the skill that it takes. I mean, I get that. I didn't even know what curling was until I got to Bowling Green and walked into their hockey rink because they have a curling, what I don't even know what I would call it, but there's a section of the ice rink that is off in the back of it that's a curling facility. And I was like, what's this,
So you're fairly up on curling. You know what it's called when they spray the water on the ice? Do you know that?
No.
It's called pebbles. They're trying to slow the stone down.
Okay.
But, most people flip to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 19th Olympic channel if they don't want to watch curling.
Jeez, I'm just telling you, it's enough. Get it off my screen. I'm just so tired of it. It's just enough already. Seriously. There are, the one thing I would say about the Winter Olympics, there are too many events in the Winter Olympics. There are things now that are Olympic sports that to me are ridiculous. And it's the same thing in the summer. I mean, it's just absurd. It really is. Things I've never even seen before. It's like every 4 years, they're manufacturing different events for Olympic medals. It's like enough already. It really is.
Well, flag football is coming to Los Angeles in the next Olympics, 2028. What do you think is going to be the newest? You can throw me a summer event or a winter event. What do you think will be the new ones?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
No,
okay.
No, I'm serious. Do you even know what that is?
Yes, I do. It's kind of like the triple jump, but in a circle.
Right. Seriously. Why not? They have tiddlywinks. Is that going to be an Olympic sport?
Tiddlywinks. That's good.
Yeah, tiddlywinks.
Tiddlywinks. Right. Do they play that during a cold?
I'm not really sure, but I do know that it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes an Olympic sport. Here's from the 916. All right. Shouldn't Olympic basketball be moved to the Winter Olympics and the NBA could send players over just like the NHL? Yes, I think it should. Watching curling is like watching paint drying. That's from the 209. Also checking in on the text line, born and raised in NorCal, so I've never been connected to hockey, but watching all of the Olympic hockey. It's amazing to me how many people get into Olympic hockey but don't ever watch it at any other time. When I say it's amazing, I only say that in this sense. We have the National Hockey League, whereas I only watch track and field every 4 years, and I watch swimming every 4 years, but there's not like a professional league I can turn on every night if I want to watch it. But it's amazing how many people watch Olympic hockey but don't watch it at any other time. How about dodgeball from the 209? Dodgeball would be a great Olympic sport. What do you think, Rhino? Dodgeball?
I'd be okay with dodgeball, but I think cornhole would probably get in before dodgeball.
Oh my gosh. It's there are some events that I watch and I'm like, what is this? I have to I'm just like, give me a break.
But
it's unbelievable.
There's also some events to me that are completely unwatchable. So although I do find it entertaining, the speed walking, you can't watch that and enjoy it. It's just too herky-jerky. Or what's the winter sport where it's like cross-country skiing, where you're basically walking with skis? That's another hard one to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many different events in both the summer and the Winter Olympics that you're like, well, what is this? What is this?
Can you even name the different types of shooting events that are in the Olympics? Yeah.
No. The biathlons and everything. No.
YouTube chat.
I can't. I can't. You know what? Honestly, I watch some of it. I turn on and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm watching sometimes. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure. Joel in the YouTube chat. Twister. Huh.
Whoa.
I don't know if Twister should ever be televised.
Somebody said, Grant, what is mountaineering skiing? What exactly is that? I saw that this morning. I'm a little uneducated about this sport. I have no idea. What is mountaineering skiing? I've never heard of it before. I can't answer that.
Mark in the YouTube chat says pencil fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about
why not?
What about ruler slapping?
I don't know if I could excel on that. I could be the individual that puts their hands out, though. I am an expert on that.
Well, they do have slap fighting, not in the Olympics.
Yes.
But, it could be the same thing. Who can take the most torture in a little bit of a more humane way?
Here's one. Miniature golf.
I'd be good with that, actually. That takes some skill.
It does take some skill. How about thumb wrestling? That would be good for summer or winter.
How do you work out your thumbs, though?
I don't know. You'd have to ask someone that does that. Seriously.
Athena says, curling is just beyond weird, and it seems like it lowers your IQ to watch it. I don't know if I'll go that far.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't go that far. I would tell you, I think it takes great skill for curling. I mean, there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, but I'm so tired of seeing it. I'm like, I can't even watch it anymore. It's all I'm seeing it. I just like, get it off my screen. Enough already.
Curling is a modified version of shuffleboard, if you think about it. You know, you're pushing the quote unquote stone down the shuffleboard. Now, you're not sweeping, but before that, you're wondering about how much is it salt that's on this shuffleboard, I think. Yeah.
How about paintball?
I don't think they're going to. Well, you know what? As I say that, I can't say that. Maybe. I don't want to get hit by a paintball. You ever been hit by a paintball?
No, I never have. Never done paintball.
Yeah.
No. There is do you think paintball is like in other parts of the world? Seriously, I really mean that.
Probably not.
Because here in America, you can go to facilities that specialize in paintball. You can do it right. You can, but I don't ever recall seeing that anywhere around the world.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, I always talk about going to Southeast Asia, right? And their different holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So in Thailand, for their New Year, they have a holiday called Songkran. And it lasts normally between 3 and 5 days. And you can't make this up. It's a holiday that is celebrated with water. And wherever you go, there are people with water guns and buckets of water and vehicles that go down the street, basically shooting big plumes of water at everyone. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have water guns that just come up to you and spray you regardless of what time of day or night it is. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, everyone is open game. And it is like, you should look at the video of Songkran. You should just look at the video of what it's like over in that part of the world when they celebrate the Thai New Year. It's unbelievable.
So being on the street is consent to be shot by water.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Sounds like the color run. That's what people do with the color run.
How about breakdancing for the games in 28?
It's already there.
They should bring it back.
Oh, did they take it away?
That's what this individual intimates at 530.
You know,
what about esports?
Oh, that's it. You know what? That's a question for my buddy Lorne, who works on Jim Rome's staff. He came from esports.
Enough. So, yeah. Anyway, you should look that up. Once you get your passport, you can make a trip. I think it's in the spring. I think it's in April. I can't remember. You can go check it out.
How do you spell passport?
I don't know. I do know that in order to play any of these sports that we're talking about in the Olympics, you would need a passport, unless you are Italian and you are an Olympian that, for whatever reason, could make the Olympic team without ever having to leave your country. That might be good for you. So,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Do I check those boxes?
How about Frisbee?
Yeah.
Only
Ultimate
if you have
Frisbee.
the dogs involved. You got to have the dogs involved.
Well, have you seen disc golf before, Grant?
Yes, I have seen disc golf. Yes.
It's pretty interesting. And it's not, my first impression was that's going to be super easy. I want to try that. Nope. It's hard. The pros
916-779-0929. We'll come right back. Don't forget Olden Polynice at 4 o'clock. Scott Pollard at 5 o'clock this afternoon here on the Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The new year is here, a fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed, they earn six-figure incomes, 2/3 own their own homes, and they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer, so your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort is all about keeping you comfortable at home. And when your sewer system backs up or the toilet suddenly won't flush, that's not comfortable. Sierra Pacific's expert plumbers are always ready to deal with household plumbing emergencies. We'll come out and solve the problem, no problem. Expert plumbing service anytime at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
It's back, Sacramento. Fox Sports Radio and Elk Grove Chevrolet are proud to present Capitol Beerfest Saturday, March 7th at the Capitol Mall. Join us for a day of sampling God's nectar from over 70 great brewers, plus music and food, and at the Fox Sports Elk Grove Chevy Lounge, get a great cigar and meet Grant Napear. Most important, of course, 100% of Beerfest proceeds benefits Runnin' for Rhett Youth Fitness. Get your Beerfest group together and get your tickets now at CapitolBeerfest.com. That's Capital with an O, Beerfest.com. CapitolBeerfest.com.
Maybe it could be said that New Year's resolutions are simply meant to be broken. If, like most people, you've already abandoned your promise to live healthier in 2026, you're not alone. But when it comes to being healthy and happy, it's never too late to hit that reset button and start living your best life. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we get older, things change. A lot of us will experience lower energy levels. Some of us may experience a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can be caused by low testosterone levels, which can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center located in Midtown. Living your best life is something you can get started on today. Visit gettingbetternow.com.
Does anybody believe Kevin Durant? I mean that. He's the most sensitive, thin-skinned player, in my opinion, in the entire NBA, and one of the most insensitive, thin-skinned players, or the most sensitive, I should say. Most sensitive to criticism, thin-skinned players in sports. So there was a story, allegations that he used a burner account to rip teammates in a private group chat, and he was asked about it today, and he did not deny it. Okay? Quote, I know you got to ask these questions, but I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense. I'm just here to focus on the season, keep it pushing. Now, I don't know about you, but if that were me and I knew it to be untrue, I would come out and say that is absolutely untrue, unequivocally 100% ridiculous and untrue. But not him, all right? Now, there were screenshots that were tied to a burner account, and I guess the allegation, it allegedly shows someone speaking from Kevin Durant's perspective while trashing some teammates, including Şengün and Jabari Smith, even calling the Rockets a blank-ass team. Now, there's no proof that it's Durant's account, but the one thing we do know about Durant, because he's admitted it, that he uses several secret accounts, if we can call them secret, burner, whatever you want to call them, all right? And he's admitted to it. He's even joked about it in the past. So I would not be surprised at all. But if you're Kevin Durant, Rhino, when you were asked about that today, instead of saying, I know you got to ask these questions, but I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense. I'm just here to focus on the season and keep it pushing. Wouldn't you just shrug your head and go, you know what? Would you stop it with this nonsense? This is ridiculous. That's 100% false. And I don't even want to dignify it with a response. Seriously.
This guy is a whiner.
Thank you. I believe, I'll tell you right now, I could see Durant doing that based on the history of his sensitivity to these type of situations.
Okay, you're right about just owning it. I take this two ways. The first is guys are going to say like this stuff all the time. He might be saying it to their faces too, right? So with that side of it, it's like, okay, it's really a nothing burger. But on the flip side of it, everybody else, wherever Kevin Durant goes, is always the problem.
Always.
Always.
Correct. Coincidence? No. Right? It's been this way his entire career, has it not? All the time. That's how I look at it. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. I don't understand how someone of his stature gets so caught up in social media with those that have very few followers that criticize him, and it gets under his skin, and he has to comment on them. It really is. Grant, are there repercussions for KD? If not, to me, it's a non-story. There are no repercussions. It's not a non-story for this reason. It's Kevin Durant. He's had a pattern of a history with social media that is, quite frankly, not good. And it looks bad to insinuate that this is Durant's account and is trashing his teammates. So that is not good. It's a non-story in this sense, 916. There's no way to absolutely prove it's Kevin Durant unless Durant comes out and admits it, and obviously he's not going to do that. But I'm going to put the onus on you since you sent the message. If it were you and you were asked that, wouldn't you just flat out go, it's ridiculous? No, of course I didn't say that. I don't even know where this came up. I'm not talking about it anymore because it's absurd.
Do you ever think Kevin Durant's doing a reverse troll on us because we're talking about it?
No, I don't. I really don't. 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. For the record, I don't know KD. I've never talked to KD. I've never had any interaction with KD. So for me to say one way or the other, do I know? No, I don't know. I only know about his past pattern of behavior as it results in social media, and nothing surprises me. I would leave it at that. Nothing surprises me. All right, let's get to some phone calls before we get to Olden Polynice coming up at 4 o'clock. Let's see. Let's start with Sam. All right, we will get to Sam in Rockland. Sam, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Grant, thanks. Hey, listen, on this Sac State issue, I was on the Hornet Stinger Foundation with guys, like Dick Spearbeck and those guys back in the day when we transitioned from whatever Division III we were in to the one we are in now, where it's Montana and all those guys. And what really drove that was money from a couple home builders that were on the board of directors. And I never thought it would work. These guys think they were going to be driving down a boulevard on a chilly afternoon day in the fall, with a raccoon coach on, going to a football game like Michigan. Well, I wasn't behind it, but that's where it went. So where you are right now is that you're either going to have to move up into whatever conference if you think it's a step up. I think that Montana, North Dakota, and those guys, we get enough recognition. We should stay here. But if you don't move now, you're probably not going to be able to move in the next few years. So it's a damn tough decision. And I don't think you're improving yourself. You may be declining yourself, but you're moving up in a division. And that's all you're really trying to accomplish, I think, at this point in time.
Maybe you might be, that's all you're trying to accomplish. I don't disagree with that, but does it make sense or not? And to me, this doesn't make sense.
It has to make sense. Either you're going to move up in your football program
at what cost?
For the next 20 years. Well, I don't know what the cost is for the next 20 years, and that's what they did when I was with Fairbeck and those guys. I thought the cost was prohibitive. It was like $3 million, and we had a budget of $300,000. So I think you have to make the decision: are we ever going to move up in a division and try and get up into another tier, or are we going to stay with the Montanas in this tier and enjoy success on and off all the time? And people recognize the tier. I think you have to move up. I don't know what the hell the cost is, but these guys are going to fund it one way or the other. And
I don't think there's an interest in Sacramento for moving up. That's one of my biggest problems with all of this.
I agree with you, Grant, but 100% agree with you. Who's going to go to a Bowling Green or these other guys when we had Montana, North Dakota, Davis, and these guys? 100% agree with you. But I don't think you can look at that point. If you want to ever move up into a new division, the time is now. The clock is ticking. So you're either going to stay where you are right now and never move up to another division, or you're going to move up and suffer the hit and say, yeah, hey, we're in a division nobody wants to go see Bowling Green, Nevada, Las Vegas. If you develop a winning program, you're going to get 10 to 12,000. If you don't, you're going to be where you are now. So if you want to move up and you're ever going to move up into a new division, you've got to do it now. Now, is this the right division? I don't know what else was offered to them, but you're not going to get into the Michigans and the Penn States and guys like that. So you're probably where you are. That's the only thing I can say. So I'm not supporting it, but I'm going to support it and say, hey, yeah, they got to do it for the good of the school if you're going to keep football moving forward. Every year you wait, you're getting behind the 8 ball.
Sam, I really appreciate your perspective. Thank you very much for your input. You have a good afternoon.
You do the same. Thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Grant, Sam brings up a really good point that ties back to what we talked about yesterday. A lot of money has come into this program for this push. I wonder how much of that money is pushing for this move.
A lot.
Okay. So we're getting somewhere.
So money does not translate into fans going to your games. Money does not translate into a non-football community all of a sudden becoming interested in football. All right? That's not how it works. Money does not change that. Money puts you in a different conference with a new set of, boundaries that you're able to step over. But that all of a sudden doesn't, make new football fans in your community, especially in the Mid-American Conference. I mean, come on now.
Okay. But if I am somebody that's pouring in a ton of money and funding this, doesn't that say my goal is I want to see major football in Sacramento? Say that's my thought process. Doesn't
what's major? How do you define major football?
I don't know. Pac-12.
Well, it's not the Mid-American Conference.
It's not okay, but you're not going straight to the SEC or the Big Ten. You know that because of where you're at. Doesn't this kick the can down the road for proof of product, basically? Gives you the chance to see if you can have football if you're in that mindset of a donor that wants to be.
I'm looking at the whole
D1.
state of California, and I'm looking at the number of football programs that, to me, I look at and go, wow, they got a really good thing going. And then I look at all of the universities and colleges in California where I look at their attendance and I look at the lack of interest, and I'm like, wow, that's unbelievable. This is so far behind the rest of the country. Why would I think that Sacramento, that has never really been a football community, is all of a sudden going to become that community? I don't see it.
No, it is hard to see, but it's also possible to acknowledge that somebody else might feel the exact opposite way.
Well, there's got to be more than somebody that feels the exact opposite. There needs to be thousands and thousands of people that feel the exact opposite, that are willing to spend their money and go to a dump of a stadium to go watch, quote unquote, big time college football.
I agree, but that's unproven up until this point for Sacramento. So again, it kicks the can down the road and gives it a chance to prove out or prove wrong.
Folks, time will tell us. They say, hey, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? DAS Mechanical. Awesome job by them. They're giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. That's right. Nick Delancey, the owner of DAS Mechanical, and his family, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're pumped. They're excited, folks, to help out a veteran or family in need. Simple. Just go to dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org, and nominate yourself or someone you know. You'll receive one with installation. So simple to enter. Again, dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Just fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. That's dasmechanical.org. And on top of this, and here, when I say we at Fox Sports Sacramento will also be including a $100 gift card to Bennett's if you go to dasmechanical.org and nominate someone or yourself, and we will select that individual at random. Olden Polynice coming up next. We'll talk some basketball with him on the NBA level. Scott Pollard an hour later at 5 o'clock, right after Grant's rant. This is the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Do you need new tires? Have you been putting it off? Don't wait any longer. Get the best in tires today and save. Get to Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. For the best selection of Bridgestone and Firestone tires, all and brakes to save big on sets of Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. Expert Tires and Brakes, the best place for tires and brakes.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabbruds. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabbrud and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabbruds does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabbruds. Expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabbruds.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabbruds. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabbruds.com.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news for you. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a new set of 4 tires. Then, kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150. And that includes major brands like Firestone, Nitto, Cooper, Toyo, and Kelly Tires. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com. Wouldn't
it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284 CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
1 hour in the books, 2 hours left. Don't forget, coming up after Grant's rant, in about 1 hour from now, I will talk with Scot Pollard, the 2-year anniversary of his heart transplant, and we'll check in college basketball. Right now, we're going to talk some NBA basketball each and every Wednesday right here on Fox Sports Sacramento with Olden Polynice. So, P, how are you this afternoon?
I am wonderful, man. I'm enjoying life. I'm sitting here watching Canada versus Italy in curling, women's curling.
Oh, you're killing me. I was just ripping the Olympics because every time I turn my TV on, that's all I'm seeing is curling, 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 curling. And listen, it looks like a neat sport. There's a lot of finesse to it, but I'm tired of watching it. Give me something else, please.
I'm the happiest man in the world.
Hey, I want to see you.
I
want to
love
see
this
you.
thing, man. I don't know
okay,
how
you know what? I want to see you try curling, man. I'll pay to watch that.
Oh, no, I'm good on that. I'm a fan. That's all.
Hey, you know what? Last week, it was amazing how many people reached out to me. They loved your Kareem Abdul-Jabbar story when you checked into the game as a rookie and you were going against Kareem and you were like, wow. But you had a wow moment when you were in high school and you went on your visit to UVA. And I can't remember where I read this, but is it true that your host for that weekend was Ralph Sampson, like the god
Ralph
of college
Sampson.
basketball? I mean, what was that like?
Insane. Because he picks me up and this, I can't remember if it was his Porsche. He had a Porsche or something, a nice car. So I'm like, but again, it's the same thing. You're Ralph Sampson. You're multiple player of the year. You know, you're legendary, but it was so cool, you know, getting a hand with him, showed me around campus. We went to dinner, introduced me to all these beautiful women. That's why I signed.
You're like, I'm coming to Virginia.
I am. You got to remember now, Grant, I went to an all-boys Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
So this was like my introduction to everything that visit to Virginia.
I mean, all right, so how quickly that weekend, in your mind, did you say, this is where I'm coming to school?
Oh, it was automatic. So on the weekend, it was myself, Kenny Smith, Tommy Amaker, and Tom Sheehy. We were the 4 guys that came in for the visit, and I told them at the football game, I'm coming, because that Friday night I had the best night of my life. Saturday at the football game, this is my decision. I'm signing with the University of Virginia. But here's the funny part about how recruiting works. I get on campus to start the year. All the girls that I met, they were gone. I was like, oh, they got me.
You're killing me. Olden Polynice joining us here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Ralph played with the Kings for a short period of time, and I got to know him very well. And for the folks that don't remember Ralph Sampson, he was 7'4". Anyway, Ralph needed a ride home from the airport one night. We landed at like 2 a.m, and back then I had a Toyota Supra, and it was quite a interesting fit to have Ralph, a 7'4" guy, get into my Toyota Supra and drive him to Roseville. But I love Ralph. You know what? I don't know how well you got to know Ralph, because he was leaving right when you got there, but I always enjoyed being around Ralph Sampson.
Oh, definitely. I actually saw Ralph this weekend for All-Star Weekend.
Wow.
We stay in contact. Just a great guy. Over the years, we've just, maintained a friendship. And again, he made me sign with Virginia. He showed me such a good time. He was so hospitable and humble at the same time. And that's what people don't realize. He was such a humble individual. You're like 3-time player of the year, you #1 draft pick. You think he'd be, besides himself, but he was never that guy.
Is it true? I don't know where I read this. It was years ago, and it's always stuck in my mind, because you said last week, and I know this about you, but you didn't start playing basketball until high school. Is it true when you got to Virginia early on, when you had pickup games, you were always the last player chosen?
Last guy.
Wow.
They didn't know. It's okay, though. But again, I was still in my learning phases, and that's what people forget. Again, we went to the Final Four my freshman year, my 3rd year of basketball.
Wow.
And so it was, and again, and people they can't grasp it. They're like, nah, but you played basketball at the park. I'm like, no, I never played. I never touched the ball. I didn't do any of that stuff at all.
And you grew up across from one of the most famous parks in America
Rucker
for basketball,
Park.
Correct?
Yep, Rucker Park. I could watch the games from my window.
Wow. Amazing to me. Your story is incredible, and I don't want to, make the segue into what I'm going to be doing next hour with Scot Pollard and his heart transplant, because perseverance is in a whole new world of fighting for life and everything. But your basketball story to me, of all of the people that I've covered in my career, is so amazing that you started so late in life and were able to become a player playing at the highest level in the world in the NBA for as long as you did. I'm just blown away by that. I'm just telling you. You know that. I've talked to you about this before. It's unbelievable to me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, no, it definitely doesn't touch what I've gone through. But, I have, same, similar past, but my stuff happened early in my life, like with the deformity in my legs. I wasn't even supposed to walk, but I won that battle. So, yeah, we all have a cross to bear. So,
yeah. Before we go on and talk about the NBA, you talk about going to the Final Four your first year, NCAA tournament, because I will talk to Scott about this because of Kansas and their history, and Scott was never able to win a national championship. They got very close and lost to Arizona. Playing in the NBA playoffs or in the NCAA tournament, can you even compare the two?
The NCAA tournament, that's the one, because it's do or die. And our trip was not supposed to happen. So the word is we only got into the tournament because Dick Schultz, at the time, our athletic director, was on the committee. So everybody was like, oh, that's the only reason they got in. So once we heard that, it was like, okay, let's prove everybody wrong. So we won the first game against Iona, and we weren't supposed to win that. Then we beat Arkansas with Joe Klein. And so then we go, to the next round, and we're beating teams And it's like, wait a minute, these guys are for real. And then when we beat Indiana to get to the Final Four, it was like, hey. And we had Houston beat. If my teammate wasn't so selfish.
Well, yep.
I'm wide
I
open
hear
under
you.
the basket because Akeem Olajuwon was guarding me. He left me to go challenge Othell Wilson. All he had to do was dump it to me. I dunk it, game over at the buzzer.
Wow. You know, speaking of Scott, he played for Roy Williams at Kansas. You played for a great coach in Terry Holland. What was the biggest impact that he had on your life?
And I remember going to his funeral a couple of years back, and I told his wife and his daughters, I mean, outside of my father and grandfather, and, you know, he and Mr. Carey, you know, outside of my family, of course, were two of the men that had the most profound effect on my life. And what I loved about Coach Holland is this. He treated you like a man, you know, and to me, that's more valuable than anything else. You know, the responsibility is on you to get to practice on time, to be ready to play, to listen to the instructions and pay attention to detail. And he wasn't a yeller screamer guy. You know, he can get his point across, but at the same time, he talked to you. And I valued that so much, you know.
All right, let's get over to the NBA. You talk about All-Star Weekend. Adam Silver with his press conference, and he spent a lot of time talking about tanking, which I know was foreign to you when you played. If you could walk, you were going to play. But it really appears to be a problem. And here's the other aspect of this, OP. It's a problem in the sense of how many members of the national media are talking about it on a regular basis, which is not good for the league.
It's not at all because, number one, you know, it messes with the integrity of the game because you're not giving your all. People spend their money, hard-earned money at that, to come watch you perform, and you're not giving your best, you're not putting your best team out there to try to win is insane to me. But at the same time, the problem has always been the fact that they incentivize losing by giving teams a number one draft pick. I'm saying the hell with that. I'm going to reward winning teams. I don't care if you have to do it where if you don't make the playoffs, whoever has the best record. But at the end of the day, it should always be whoever has the best record in the NBA gets the number one pick. Now, your general managers and everybody else, now they really got to do their job because, okay, I may not need this guy. So now I'm going to draft for value for my team more than anything else. Because if I have a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and I have the number one pick, I'm not going to get a point guard. I'm going to get what I actually need. And so the draft, to me, will be better served that way. And unless they do something, because as long as you keep rewarding losing, that's what these people are going to do. They're going to keep tanking and just messing with the game in its entirety. And it's not fair to fans.
Again, I'm talking to some guy that you laced him up. You played 7 of your years. You played 80 or more games. Then you had 70 or more games in a season, I think 4 times. I mean, you were, and again, I hate to keep on talking about Scott, but Scott's the same way. If Scott could walk and get his sneakers on, he was going to play. You were the same way.
Yeah, all of us, because we were scared to give up our spots. People don't realize there's no more fear of losing your spot anymore.
Right.
Now, guys sit out 2 months and they come back, they're in the starting rotation. The craziest thing I saw, and again, like even now, when Wembanyama was out, they were bringing him off the bench, doing the whole load management thing. And I'm like, wow, this is insane to me. I mean, if he's healthy enough to play, he's healthy enough to start. And so you're going to keep him from his starting position. None of this stuff makes sense anymore. These guys are not coaching and managing the right way. I think it's more about, you know, what can I do for my organization? How can I keep these guys, you know, in a certain mindset? I think it's more control than anything else because I don't think it's the players that are doing this. It's the teams that are controlling so much of this.
OP, in the Western Conference, Oklahoma City is on top, but they only have a 3-game lead over San Antonio and then Denver and Houston. The Lakers, to me, I can't see them winning the West. I personally don't think Houston can win the West. A lot of people might disagree. So Denver, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, as we begin the stretch drive with about 25 to 27 games remaining for most teams, of those three teams, OKC, San Antonio, Denver, who do you like the best?
I definitely like San Antonio and Denver to make some noise because I think San Antonio kind of gave a blueprint on how to play against OKC, which is using their length, because they got a bunch of athletic guys, and I don't think OKC can handle a lot of that stuff. But at the same time, they're the team to beat. Denver with Jokic is always going to be formidable, so I'm going to give them an edge only because they have championship experience with that group of guys. The Lakers, to me, are like what Lob City, the Clippers, used to be. Very, exciting because of Luka and LeBron and everything else for the regular season. But when you get wrapped up in a 7-game series, the Lakers are going to be nowhere to be found.
You just used the word experience. Does that translate to the Pistons? They're clearly the top team in the East right now. What do you think when you look at them when we get to April? Are they capable? Could you see them being in the NBA Finals this year? Are they ready to take that next step?
That's the team I picked on one of the others with Rob Parker. I picked the Detroit Pistons to come out the East only because they got that experience last year against the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And when they lost that series, I think that really stuck to them. And it was like, bringing a guy like Tobias Harris in helps. Duncan Robinson, that helps. Yeah. And I think they're better than last year. And as we see by their record. So Kay Cunningham is an all-star. Jalen Durant's an all-star. Keep Isaiah Stewart calm. They'll be all right.
How important is experience when you get to the postseason? And how do you define experience? Is it one playoff series? Is it two? Is it a few years? Like, how do you break that down?
It's learning from before. Like I said, that series against the Knicks, now they know exactly what to do. If they ever in that same situation again, they'll have a better understanding. And J.B. Bickerstaff, he's going to have a better understanding on what to do as well. And so to me, those are the things that come into play. Because we always say this, the only way to get experience is to get experience.
Yeah.
And so the more you do something, the more experience you get at it. And hence, Oklahoma City finally got the experience, and they were able to, get through by beating the Denver Nuggets in Game 7. Albeit, I've been saying this, some of them whistles were suspect. But, that's how the game is. They took advantage of really good whistles, and they won the title. But, short of that, now that they have it and they've won the title, they know exactly what to do. So they're going to be tough. I'm not saying that OKC's not going to be, there. They are. They're the team to beat. But again, I think there's been some cracks in the armor. And teams, they're going to take full advantage, especially now with Shea. This is his first major injury. Now how are they going to function, once he comes back?
You said you ran in that route this weekend, All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. I didn't watch All-Star Weekend, but I saw some clips on social media, the slam dunk contest. Has that just turned into the biggest joke or what? I mean, come on now.
It is. It's insane. And the fact that the NBA keeps, doing this because, granted, Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine will never have that again for two guys to not only make these incredible dunks, but to also make them on the first tries. And then we had the 3 years of Mac McClung, and I thought that was great. But the young man still wasn't under contract, within an NBA team.
Right.
Which is, again, absurd.
Right.
So if you've already done it that way and you remove the dunk contest altogether for like 2 years, then just either get rid of it or make it what it is. It's a spectacle. Open it up like a Jordan Kilgannon. Bring him in so people can actually see these dunks in person. Make it something like that. Make it fun because right now the NBA players do not want to do dunk contests.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Why? When you played, you had Neek, you had Michael Jordan going head to head. It wasn't a problem. Like, when did it become a problem where you can't have the best players in the dunk contest?
when your boy decided he wasn't going to do it. I'm being facetious right now. When LeBron James, when he was the face of the league, decided, and then he lied to everybody and said, I'm putting my name in the dunk contest for next year, guaranteed. And then next year came and nothing. So when that started, that was it, because these guys are worried about their brands, and nobody wants to be a meme. Like the young man, Jace Richardson. He's a meme now. Split his damn head open damn near. And I was like, wow, okay, so that's where we are now. And then Jackson Hayes with that trash attempt. I could have done better than that.
Sure. Did that same thing happen?
It was insane to me. So
yeah,
you don't have the big name players. You're not going to have the anticipation. So it's like, I didn't know, no disrespect to them, but I didn't know any of those guys per se. As far as like, I didn't know they were dunkers. Jackson Hayes did the one dunk between his legs in the game, and the next thing I know, he's in the dunk contest. I'm like, why? He's not creative enough. You got to have the sense of creativity.
Do you think that LeBron deserves some blame for the trend that began years ago with the effort in the All-Star game?
If I'm giving LeBron credit, which I am, for empowering players, he's got to take the blame for minimizing a lot of this stuff within the NBA, because that's what's happened. None of our stars now want to do anything outside of, they barely want to play the regular season games.
How do you change that trend?
Man, they better be glad I'm not a general manager, Grant. I'm firing everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you $50 million, $60 million for you to sit on the bench. I'm just gonna be that hard guy that's, hey, no nonsense. Because at the end of the day, man, I said this many, many years ago. Because, again, I'm not trying to be, high and mighty or anything like that, but I said this. Every NBA contract should be one-year deals. Because the only time guys play hard is at the end of their contract. They play their hardest at the end of a contract. So make every contract one-year deal.
That would be a perfect world. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, and that's never going to happen. But I'm with you. That would certainly change a lot of the issues. Now, isn't it mind-boggling that there are players in the NBA right now that are making $500,000-$600,000 every single game? It's unbelievable. It's incredible. Can you imagine getting $500,000 or $600,000 every game, whether you play or don't play?
Man, that's the part I have a problem with. It's the not playing. They're getting paid more for less work.
Right.
I don't mind you getting money. As a player, get your money. Because I used to say this all the time. When I got in, my first contract, $300,000. And I was like, wow, I'm getting $300,000, but the guys before me were getting $40,000, $50,000 a year.
Right.
So what were they thinking? And then I see guys getting $10 million a year, $20, $50 million now. I can't be mad at them. That's where we are right now. But at the same time, we all earned our money. We played, like you mentioned about, all the games that I played.
Sure.
We wanted to be out there. These guys, they don't now. It's like, again, with the injuries, everybody wants to be 100%. There's no such thing. They brought all these analytics people in.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we can't play him right now because he hasn't fully recovered to 99.9. No, there's no such thing.
And don't forget about fine commercial. And if you were a rookie
middle seat.
Yeah, in the back with your knees up against your chest, OP.
Middle seat. I hated that crap. Middle seat.
Hey, not only that, but the NBA rule was on a back-to-back, you had to take the first flight out. So sometimes you had to leave for the airport at 4:30 or 5 in the morning.
That's 5:50. Yeah, that's 5:15 a.m. flight. Got to take the first flight out. They understand all this, Grant.
Oh, gosh.
They think we're joking. Oh, the old guys are just hating. No, we're not. We went through it. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. this generation is the only one that keeps knocking the Giants. You know, I see
perfectly
All-Star Weekend, perfect example. All-Star Weekend. I go up to Oscar Robertson, thank you very much. Artis Gilmore, thank you for everything you did. LaRue Martin, thank you very much for what you did as number one pick. You know, who's supposed to be like one of the, but he's a number one pick. I don't care who it is. I always go and say thank you because you guys made it possible. I got where I am because of you. These cats right now, they don't respect that, and that's the biggest problem I have with this generation. I don't care about the money or nothing else. You still got to appreciate the people that were there before you that made it possible, that paved that road that you're walking on.
Perfectly said. On that note, we'll say thank you very much and talk to you next Wednesday. You take care.
All right, Grant.
Take care. Great stuff from Olden Polynice. Love it. Really, every week. That is just great content. We'll come back. We'll get your reaction to what he had to say and more at 916-779-0929. The Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
There's a unique place in downtown Sacramento on the corner of 16th and V Streets that is special for those who enjoy a fine cigar. It's called Hathaway Cigars. It's that little red place right there at 16th and V Streets. It's spelled Hattuey. The Hathaways are a distinguished family of cigar makers originally from Cuba. And for 3 generations, the Hathaways have produced world-class hand-rolled artisan cigars like the Habana and the Gran Cubano, world-class cigars favored by cigar aficionados from all over the world. Hathaway cigars originate from Cuban seeds, grown in the historic El Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic, where many of the world's finest cigar tobaccos are grown. Hathaway Cigars' spacious lounge features a walk-in humidor with more than 100 different varieties of hand-rolled cigars. Hathaway Cigars, open daily downtown at 16th and V, online at hathawaycigars.com. Please be at least 21.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabbruds Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabbruds now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabbruds, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabbruds. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabbruds, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds. Gubrud's. Gabbruds.com.
Fox Sports Radio and Elk Grove Chevrolet proudly present Capitol Beerfest, Saturday, March 7th at Capitol Mall. More than 70 brewers and at the Fox Sports Elk Grove Chevy Lounge, great cigars and a meet and greet with Grant Napear. Get your tickets at CapitolBeerfest.com. Capital with an O, Beerfest.com.
There's a great American pastime that the entire family can enjoy together, located right outside of Sacramento. The Golden State Shooting Center welcomes you. The Golden State Shooting Center is an 80-acre clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous youth sport shooting teams from the region. Over 1,000 high school students from Northern California are on sports shooting teams, and 10 of the Western United States' top shooting teams train at Golden State Shooting Center. New members are being accepted now. For details, visit goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
I'm retired and worried about the cost of food, medicine, and rent. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Best of all, it's free. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
Good stuff from Olden Polynice. Awesome. Grant, what are your thoughts on the 3-on-3 Olympic hockey overtime? It's exciting, and I get maybe they don't want a 5-hour game, but it's a little bit too gimmicky for me. I love it. You know, they do the same thing in the NHL. They take a skater off the ice. I love it. It's wide open. It's end-to-end. I would prefer 4-on-4 as opposed to 3-on-3. So that part, now they don't do that in the playoffs, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but during the regular season they do. OP is quickly becoming my favorite weekly segment. You know, he and Sean Salisbury, they're going head to head. They're in the finals for my weekly guest. It's good stuff, huh, Rhino?
Amazing stuff. He's speaking the truth. He's saying the things that other people are not willing to say in that NBA circle and community. I love it. And he's not wrong.
Too. No, he's not. He is not wrong. Again, if you want to call the show, 916-779-0929. Tomorrow, we're going to talk more on this Sac State football going to the Mid-American Conference, and we'll get the opinion of Ross Dellinger, who writes for Yahoo Sports, the subject of college football. And he went through all of the logistics, the money, and everything else. He'll be on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So we'll get a national perspective from Ross. That's tomorrow on the show. Friday, Ryan is going to be doing the show, as I am off on Friday. And then, of course, we'll be back on Monday. Looking forward to the Beerfest on March 7th. Come on out and say hello. Come on out and see me. Come out and hang out with me. I am very much looking forward to that on March 7th. So if you are in the area and you want to have some fun, I will be there with a bunch of other people, and it will be a great chance to say hello and hang out on March 7th. So I'm very much looking forward to that. A week from, or is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks from Saturday, I guess it is. All right, let's get to Dave in Elk Grove. What's happening, Dave?
Grant, how you doing, buddy?
Dave, thank you for calling.
Wanted to comment, nail biter win for Team USA men today.
Yep.
Heading into the semifinals. In your absence on Monday, I convinced Rhino to watch the women's gold medal game tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So that should be there's a lot of bad blood between the U.S. and Canadian ladies.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if you know, but Macklin Celebrini is leading the Olympics in goal scored with 5 in his first Olympics at 19 years old. So that's amazing.
He is amazing.
But,
what he's done for the Sharks and what he's done for the NHL and what he's doing in the Olympics is unbelievable. The guy's just a phenom.
Yeah. But I did want to comment. Listen to Rhino interview Joe Davidson on Monday, and he was kind of selling the Sac State deal into the FBS as a good thing. And I'm 100% on board with you. I'm a diehard sports fan. I've lived in Sacramento 25 years. I've never been to a Sac State football game. I think maybe they were hoping I was going to run out and buy season tickets after the announcement going into the MAC. I'm not. I probably won't go to a game. And whoever negotiated that deal to pay for the travel of the opposing teams, I'm in the travel business, and I've done a lot of charters and stuff like that. And you touched on it the other day. You got to pay that round trip charter, but not only that, you got to pay the crew and the plane while it's sitting on the ground. And whoever negotiated that deal, it just seems to me like the president of Sac State, whatever his name is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Dr. He was Wood. So intent on getting them into the FBS that he was willing to take any deal. And I think it's one of the worst deals I've ever seen. Where they're going to come up with the $23 million, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think coming up with that aspect is going to be as big of a deal because of the heavy hitters in Sacramento that are opening up their wallets to make this happen. But I don't understand. And Dave, how long did you say you've been in this community? I'm sorry.
25 years.
Okay. So you have a really good understanding of Sacramento. You have a very good understanding of what's possible and what's not from your perspective. I do not understand how the president of Sacramento State can come out and say that the estimated economic impact over 5 years is going to be $975 million and a national broadcast value of $675 million. Are we talking about, Georgia in Athens or Alabama in Tuscaloosa? Are we talking about LSU or are we talking about Sac State in Sacramento? Are you kidding me? An estimated economic impact of $975 million? Dave, are you kidding me? Come on now.
No, I think he might have meant 975 million pesos.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. No, really.
I mean, that's close to $1 billion. That's a ridiculous a statement. I don't know where he came up with that, and I don't know how he got sold on the deal, especially the travel, paying for the
oh my gosh,
opposing
for
team's
5
travel.
years they got to pay for it. 5 years of travel, not just 1 year, 5 years.
I mean, I'm sure Sac State has some, some high dollar alumni donors, but to me, this seems like a crazy deal, and it's not going to. If Sac State played Ohio State, I might go to the game just to see Ohio State, but I haven't been to a game since I've been here 25 years. I don't have any plans to go to a game when they're joining the MAC. I know the TV revenue thing, seems like a big deal, but I just don't see how they're going to make the numbers work.
I don't either. Dave, hearing from you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
All right. Take care, Grant.
Again, Dave uses common sense. I'm using common sense. Common sense tells me this is just not going to work. Sure, you can have a competitive team. Listen, the MAC's not very good. So, could I see Sacramento State being competitive in the MAC? Yeah, I could. Absolutely, I could. Yes, I could see that. I could see them being competitive. I mean, the MAC, again, is not great football. All right? So, come on now. I can see that, but crazy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You went to a MAC school. Isn't the MAC style of football a little bit more physical, a little bit more on the ground, a little more defensive?
Yes. But things have changed. But yeah, it is a physical style of football. It is, but like most colleges now, the offenses have opened up. There's a lot of passing. But yeah, I would think that's the mentality of that area of the country. Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. All right, again, 916-779-0929. Call the show. We'll put you right on. Love Dave calling from Elk Grove. We now get to Dorian. Dorian, good to hear from you today. How are you?
What's up, Grant? What's up, Rhino? I'll get to my question, what I wanted to call for, Grant, but we talked a little bit of Sac State. And what's really funny me, Grant, is why so many Sacramento community members, are upset about this Sacramento State move when, one, some aren't even alumni of Sacramento State, so why do you care? And then number two, it's dude, why do you want to see Sacramento State fail? I don't really understand that reasoning. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to see Sacramento State fail, even though I don't understand this deal and it makes no sense to me. No, of course not. I don't want to see things in the community that I work in and spend a lot of time in fail. No, I'm pro sports. I want it to work. I just don't see how it is going to work.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you are directly saying that. What I'm saying is there's so many community members, Sacramento people here that are upset about this move when they have no affiliation to Sacramento State. And even if they are alumni and they don't support athletics, why are you upset about this? Or why do you feel some type of way about this when you're not even supporting the games? You're not going to games. You haven't even been to an on-campus event in however many years since you graduated. So what really baffles me about this is why so many people in this community are actually upset about this.
Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion, regardless of whether it's warranted or not. We all live in a country where, we can be opinionated and talk about, I'm not a Sac State alum. I don't have anything to do with it. I can't remember the last time I was at a game at Sacramento State. Now, it's my job to talk about it. But even if it weren't my job, I don't think I would be positive about it. I think I'd be making critical comments. It's just the nature of us as human beings. I don't really have a problem with that as much, Dorian. But as far as people rooting for it to fail, I don't think people should root for it to fail. I'm not rooting for Sacramento State to fail. I actually would love, Dorian, to go to big-time college football in this community. I think it would be great because I've experienced it in a lot of different areas of the country, both in the Big Ten and the SEC. Now, that will never happen here. But, I mean, even if you can get remotely close to having a football festive atmosphere with a good crowd in a soon-to-be, hopefully, stadium that is a legitimate football stadium, that could be fun for a lot of people.
100%. Obviously, like I have a bias, right? I used to play. I'm an alumni from Sacramento State. I'm proud to be from Sacramento State, but it's still really kind of it just makes me feel some type of way when so many people that live in this community are like, why do you even care that they're making this move, and why do you feel some type of way about it? Like, I want to see everybody win this community. I want to see student athletes have a better experience than I did. I want the campus to continue growing. I would love to go one day, wake up on Saturday morning and be like, yeah, man, I'm super excited to go to the Sacramento State, game. Like, I want that to be the talk of the town, just like the Kings were back in 2006, right? Like, I don't know. It just
well, in all fairness to this conversation that we're having, and I can tell you this because you've been a great supporter and contributor, you're also on the extreme side because you played football for Sacramento State. So your outlook is more on the extreme positive side. So I have to, acknowledge that as well. I think that this deal, here's the biggest issue that I have with this deal, Dorian, and I think we've talked a lot about this over the last day or 2 days, are the numbers that are coming out of President Wood's mouth, that there's going to be an estimated economic impact of $975 million over 5 years. I'm sorry, that just is absurd to me. It's absurd.
Yeah, totally. I would definitely agree. I'm not sure how the financial aspect's going to work out, like we talked about yesterday, Grant, on your show and on YouTube, on your open forum. But I mean, I guess time will tell. But Grant, what I really wanted to call about was what LP's comment said about having players on 1-year deals. That's really interesting to me. I've never really thought about that, because if we're looking at value here, and I could be totally wrong, right? Obviously people have their opinions, but if you're a player and you're coming into the league or you've been in the league, your value is constantly getting, what's the word I'm looking for, looked at after every year. Do you think, and again, I don't know if this makes sense financially or obviously for long-term stability in players, but what do you think a league would look like with having every player on a 1-year deal and then reassessing that deal after every year?
Sports would be great. It would attract even a lot more people than it does today. And games would be ultra competitive, and you would have a completely different mindset in a lot of these sports. In football, it's similar to that, not quite that way, but it's never going to happen. It's a waste of time to even talk about it because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. But his comments were really interesting. I never really thought about that. But but thanks, Grant. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Dorian. Always good hearing from you. We'll come back. Don't forget Scott Pollard right after Grant's rant in about 20 minutes here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Hey, folks, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? I've got awesome news, because DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. Owner Nick Delancey and his family, hey, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're excited to help out a veteran or family in need. Just go to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or, hey, someone you know to receive one. And yes, it comes with installation. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org, click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a set of 4 tires. Then, kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150, and that includes major brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Hankook, and more. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabbruds. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrud and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrud's does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabbruds, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabbruds.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabbruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabbruds.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Scott Pollard, right after Grant's rant, to begin hour number 3. Rhino, a lot of interesting conversations on the show today.
There is, Grant. Let's play a little game of true or false.
Oh, yes. I love true or false.
It's one question, but I am very interested in the answer. Was there something back in the day known as mini Grant?
Yes, there was, actually. They did something with my voice, and they took my rants and changed my voice around a little bit. So, yes. Yes.
Okay, so it was produced. It was not natural.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. The chat is discussing mini Grant, and I'm thinking, man, it's a lot to deal with one Grant. I don't know if I can deal with a mini Grant, too, as much as I love you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I believe that is very true. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes. I know that's shocking, huh? They used to do things throughout my career without me even knowing it or being aware of it. And you know how I am, right? You know I don't care about this stuff.
Right.
Like I just go do my show. I don't get caught up. You've known me for a couple of years now. I'm a technological moron, right? And so like all this stuff that you can do, all these bells and whistles, I let somebody else do it. I'm just like, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just, turn my microphone on at the start of my show and let me do my thing. I don't care about this or that or what. I don't get caught up in that. I just don't. I don't care.
So would they play it back for you, or would it just play it some other time?
No, they would never play it back for me. I don't even remember when I would listen to it, or a lot of times I wasn't even aware that it was going on.
That's funny.
Yeah. I know people find this really hard to believe. I just don't get caught up in that stuff. And a lot of people think it's funny and it's great. You need to do this and if people enjoy it, right? And I'm fine. Go ahead, do it. I'm a nuts and bolts guy. I'm about doing the game play-by-play or coming on talk radio, just like when I filled in for Romy.
Yeah.
Right? I was pretty much a hardcore sports guy. I didn't do a lot of fluff on Romy's show, right? It was pretty much, right, for 3 hours, pretty much hardcore sports.
You didn't come off as like hardcore, pound you over the head with it.
No.
But
no.
Yes, you were centered around sports, but again, you knew enough to cater to that audience, and you knew how to manipulate and play with that audience at the right times.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun filling in for Jim. I used to do the same thing. Now, when I was at ESPN Radio in the late 90s, that was even more different because although I worked with Tony Bruno, and we did have a lot of fun with Tony and Chuck Wilson, but I've had a lot of different experiences that I reflect back on that I'm so blessed to have experienced because, like, I think of Romy at the top of the mountain, right?
Yeah,
When it comes
yeah.
to what he does. I mean,
Yeah.
he's an icon.
Hard to argue with that. What
Yeah.
do they call him? The legend maker? Does he call himself that?
He's an iconic broadcaster. You know, there's a reason why he's in the Radio Hall of Fame and what he's accomplished. And there are others. You know, I grew up with Chris Russo. He's in the same category. He's
Sure.
iconic. I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore to me in this category. So, you know, it's just, I got into this business to talk sports. I'm not into the fluff. I'm not into all of and if I use the term nonsense, I don't mean that in a negative way. I just don't know of another adjective to describe the bells and whistles. I'm not a bells and whistles guy.
You leave it to
I've
the
never
bells
have
and
been.
whistles people. That's what you do.
That's correct.
You don't even dip your toe in the water. I get it.
No.
Athena says, Ryan, fiddle with the tech and bring Mini Grant back. No, we do not rewash segments, but we might find something else fun to do. It does give me a couple of ideas that might be different and better.
So this one says, Grant, the funniest thing I heard was Grant's voice in a PlayStation virtual world called from the PS3 days. It was an NBA room sponsored by the NBA.
Your voice is probably in so many places that you don't even realize.
Oh, correct. That is so true. That is so true. I would hear my voice sometimes and I'm like, how did that happen? Like, where did that come from? I didn't even know if it was legal. It was like, whatever. I didn't even care. It's like, whatever.
Okay, this is going to be super random. But you know how we were talking about Olympic sports?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as the Olympics are in LA this summer, can we just make high-speed pursuits an Olympic sport? Just for one session, one Olympic calendar in Los Angeles, because that's what they treat them as down there. It's cameras everywhere, watching every turn. We have a chase, and OP and I were joking about that while he was on hold because he's obviously in LA, and that's what's on the screen right now here. It's like, come on.
So you should make that an Olympic sport, huh?
That is my off Olympic sport for this year.
Okay.
Yep. For this next summer session, make high-speed chases.
Would
on
that be the
public
equivalent
streets.
of like the men's downhill and the women's downhill at the Olympics, going 80 miles an hour down the hill?
You know, Grant, these guys usually put the pedal to the metal. I don't know if we need hills, but yes, it would be a high-speed event. A lot of velocity.
Be like the skeleton going head first, 75 miles per hour down a sheet of ice.
Sure, but then you have to add in like an element of jousting because of the pit maneuvers. You know, that slight tap.
Yes. That works.
I think we're on
916-779-0929. When you think about the events coming to the U.S., the Summer Olympics, the World Cup, there's a lot coming this way. We just had the Super Bowl here in Northern California, but it's going to be pretty crazy here. Going to get crazy.
I don't know that I would want to be anywhere near LA for the Olympics.
No. I totally agree.
If you're listening to us from out of state and you're thinking about coming to Disneyland, do not come during like the month before or the month of the Olympics. Mark them off. Black them out.
Boy. Yeah, that is going to be crazy, is it not? How much you think they pay on security for the Olympic Games now?
Oh, man.
Billions of dollars.
Has to be.
No, it's billions. Sure. Yep. Billions of dollars.
They have security in places we probably wouldn't even know exist.
It's 2 summers from now, right? The Summer Olympics.
Yeah, 2028.
They go 2 years, yeah?
Yeah.
916-779-0929. Don't forget Scott Pollard coming up in just a couple of moments. Hey, are you thinking of buying a home, selling a home in 2026? I've talked about the expected Fed rate cuts where, oh boy, it is going to be wild and there are going to be bidding wars and homes are going to go fast. And this is the time where you need your ducks in a row. And the first thing you really need is to have an experienced, trustworthy individual who is your real estate agent. Broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein with Village Financial Group. He's that guy, 30 years of experience in mortgage brokering. And I will tell you, it's like a white glove service with Spence, kind of like a boutique shop from start to finish. He will take you right through the process. And keep in mind that Spence is very creative when it comes to financing. He's a specialist, and he has access to private money, which will expedite the entire process. Just go and take a moment. Text Spence, call Spence, 916-805-4868. If you're planning on being in the market, you're getting in the market, whatever, call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. And the thousands of listings available online at vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Again, 2 weeks from Saturday, I hope to see everybody out at the Beerfest. That should be fun on March 7th, so come on out and say hello, and I'll be looking forward to that. We've got a lot happening with the NCAA tournament next month. Who will the Kings end up drafting in June? What would Scott Pollard do if he were the general manager of the Sacramento Kings or the general manager of a team that had the first pick or the second pick or the third pick in the NBA draft? I'm going to ask him that coming up in a couple of moments and check in his 2-year anniversary for his new heart was on Tuesday. And it's unbelievable to me that it's been 2 years. The donor, Casey Angel. I mean, just think about that for a minute. You never thought that you would find a heart big enough for your body, and then it happens, and you don't know the individual because it's anonymous until that family decides yes or no that they want to have contact with you. Scott wrote a letter to the family not knowing if it would ever get a response, and they did, and they met them. And the donor's name, Casey Angel.
Can't make it up, Napes. Can't make it up. And on the other side of that, remind everybody what Scott's batting when it comes to Kansas prospects.
1,000. I will remind everybody again when he comes on. By the way, security cost in the Olympics in Italy is $615 million. So not quite to the economic impact of Sacramento with the Sacramento State Mid-American Conference deal. Not quite that high. All right. Well, I just had to throw that in. I'm sorry. It's not that high. Okay. Grant's Grant, Scott Pollard, all coming up to begin hour number 3 right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Do you need new tires? Have you been putting it off? Don't wait any longer. Get the best in tires today and save. Get to Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. For the best selection of Bridgestone and Firestone tires, all on sale and on-site ready for your car or truck, get to Expert Tires and Brakes to save big on sets of Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. Expert Tires and Brakes, the best place for tires and brakes.
At Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, just as our name says, we're in the business of home comfort. So if the heater goes out and the house is suddenly uncomfortable, we got your back. Sierra Pacific's friendly heating and air technicians are always ready to come to the rescue when you need it the most. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, trusted heating, air, solar, and electric experts. Visit today at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air, the guys in the big red trucks.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The NBA is officially moving forward with the idea of expansion. Seattle and Vegas reportedly sitting on the front line. And for Seattle in particular, it feels long overdue. If the league is serious about rewarding great sports cities, the return of the Supersonics should already be penciled in. This is a franchise with a real history, a title, icons, a fan base that never stopped caring. More importantly, Seattle has continued to prove it's one of the country's most underrated sports cities. Seattle's 12th man. They built one of the strongest home field advantages in football. The Mariners ranked in the top half of baseball attendance last season, and the Kraken, the city's newest franchise, already sits just outside the top 5 in NHL attendance. The interest is there. The infrastructure is there. If expansion is truly coming, bringing basketball back to Seattle would not just be a smart business decision, it would be the right thing to do for an underrated, loyal sports city still waiting for its team to come back. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals, but Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that goes above and beyond to help you keep more of what matters. No hunting, no hassle, just confidence that your coverage customized with savings in mind. Start your quote at libertymutual.com. 2 words, prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
Can we please stop the court storming that we unfortunately see too often when it comes to college basketball? The latest being Nebraska and their coach, Fred Hoiberg, the former NBA player who swatted the phone of an Iowa fan when the court-storming number 9 ranked Cornhuskers were upset on Tuesday by Iowa, 57-52. Nothing good can happen from court storming. All right? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And now I got to worry whether Hoiberg is going to face any disciplinary action when a fan comes up and puts the phone in front of his face. Good, he should do that. I would do the same thing. By the way, he continued shaking hands with the opposing team after the run-in with the fan. But enough with the court storming. Like, nothing good can happen from this. All right? Something bad is going to happen. You know what? Follow the Kansas Jayhawks when recently they beat top-ranked Arizona. Did you see the Kansas fans storming the court? No. You know why? They don't have to storm the court. They're better than that. You be better than that too, Iowa. That's a bad look. Stop it. They need to stop this court storming. It is absurd. And that's my rant for today. It is always great when I can have Scot Pollard on my radio show. How are you, big boy?
What's up, Big Nate? I just heard you talk. Are there kids still storming courts? Oh, that's right. Not everybody has a program. They just have teams. Unlike the University of Kansas, we have a program. We don't storm the court.
I love it.
And our kids know better.
You're beautiful. Congratulations on your 2-year anniversary of receiving your new heart. Is it possible to sum up in a couple of sentences what your life has been like the last 2 years?
No, not in a couple sentences. But
I can tell you as quickly as I can, the worst thing that I've ever done and the best thing I've ever done, because I wouldn't wish what I've gone through on anybody. And I'm not even talking about heart. Any transplant is difficult, because even before I had a heart transplant, I knew people that had kidney transplants, been donors. Greg Ostertag, I don't know if a lot of Kings fans know this, but Greg Ostertag of the Kings, who also was a teammate of mine in Kansas, he donated a kidney to his sister and then played at Kansas and in the NBA for 13 years. So, I've known people that have given and received transplants over the years. So, yeah, long answer, no, I can't tell you in 2 years, but it was awful. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, what I went through. And I'm not trying to say that for sympathy. It's just, it was terrible. I've done lots of surgeries. I've done lots of horrible things to my body to maintain professional athlete status and all that. But that was by far the worst I've ever been through. And thank you to you, Grant Napear, and friends like you. I made it through. I got through because of my family and my dear friends that came into the hospital and all the people that prayed for me. I'm a lucky man. I'm not even supposed to be here, and I am. So thank you to everybody that prayed for me and all that.
How is life today, 2 years after your heart transplant surgery?
I keep waking up. The rest is easy. That's basically where I start every day. I traded one chronic illness for another one. I'm immunocompromised for life. Every day that I go in public, I could touch somebody, hug somebody, touch something, and my immune system will not fight it off. And then I end up sitting in my house for a few days, or sometimes I get hospitalized. And the last time I've been in the hospital for that being sick, was October for 4 days because I caught some stuff. I was out too much, out and about. Actually, I was in Sacramento for Phillips golf tournament. I'm not blaming him because I was sick before that. But yeah. I ignored it, and I ignored it for too long, and it just eventually got to a point where I was like, uh-oh. So, now that was another reminder that I'm not normal, and I never will be normal. I'm on these drugs for life that cause kidney failure, they cause liver failure, but they keep me alive in the other way, and forcing my body not to reject the new organ that is in there that is keeping me alive. So, like I said, it's trading one chronic illness for another. I've got a different set of rules to live life by now, and I'm happy to take those drugs every 12 hours. There's a lot of pills that are in my life. They go everywhere with me, and I don't miss because I don't want to reject and have to do what I've already done once ever again. And I just hope that Casey is my donor. I've been lucky to meet his family, but I'm lucky to know his family, but also I'm lucky that his family made the decision for the worst day of their life to become the best day for me and my family's life, to continue my life and give me bonus days.
And Casey's gift has allowed you to do something that your father did not see, and that's his son achieve greatness in college basketball and the NBA, and your son now playing college football. That is just an unbelievable thrill and gift for you.
You're going to make me cry. Yes. The E60 made a movie called Heart of Pearl. It was about my dad. He couldn't get a heart transplant because in 1991, your donor had to be exactly your size. And they just said, look, there's nobody 6'9", 380. So you're not getting a heart. And so he just lived until he died. And so the only reason I'm here is because technology has gotten better. My dad passing is the greatest tragedy of my life, and also the impetus of me being angry and devoted and sharpened my discipline to be great, to be a good athlete, a good person, a good basketball player, all that. And so, now I get to do something my dad never got to do, which is watch my kids grow up and be great. And one of them is playing now. He's just hit the transfer portal. We went all over. By the way, that is absolutely stupid. The transfer portal.
Right.
It is so dumb. No one knows the rules. I promise you. Everyone listening, please understand. Not one college gave us a uniform offer to anybody else. No one knows the rules. Everyone gave Aussie a different rule, a different offer, different terminology. And I'm not knocking the colleges. They're doing their best. It's literally the wild, wild west. I wouldn't wish that on anybody either, but he made it through. Duder made a great choice. He made a football decision. He didn't care about money. He didn't care about the offers. He wanted to go play for coaches that he liked, and he loved every coach he talked to at the University of Hawaii. And, oh, yeah, it just happens to be 10 minutes from Waikiki Beach.
Well, listen, I don't want to speak out of bounds here, but I think that had you gone to the University of Hawaii, I don't think you would have made it, my friend. I'm just telling you, I don't think you would have made it.
Oh, I wouldn't have made it back from the island. I'd have stayed there, that's for sure. We were just there. I've never been to, well, I've been to that island before, of the Hawaiian Islands. I've been to that one, but I've never really stayed in Honolulu before. So I haven't been in the big city. And, you know, in some ways it surprised me, but in other ways, good surprise. In other ways, I was a little negatively surprised. But again, it's a big city. But my goodness, my son lives 10 minutes from Waikiki Beach and 5 minutes from campus. None of the players. Wow. I was like, where do the players live? They're like, they're kind of all over, because a lot of their players are native Hawaiian. They're from there, and so they live at home. You know, where they grew up, and some of them take online classes, so they don't really go to campus except for football. And they live 20, 30, some of them a little further away than that, and they just commute for practice and go back home. And so it's a very different college experience, and I'm so proud of my son for making a football decision and just saying, Dad, Mom, everyone, I'm going to miss you and I love you, but this is the best place for me. And he's loving it. He's doing great. I don't know if he's going to play any next year. He's going to be a sophomore. He's still only 18 years old. He should be a senior in high school still, but here we are. And he's absolutely loving it. He's going to get bigger and stronger and faster and all that stuff, because his work ethic is just absolutely incredible. Dude loves playing football and he loves working out.
Scot Pollard, the guest here on Fox Sports Sacramento. I've known you for about 25 years, and your batting average is 1,000 when it comes to players at Kansas that go into the NBA and whether they're going to succeed or not. So here we are, the Sacramento Kings, the worst record in the NBA. They are probably going to be on the clock. I'm going to put you as the general manager of the Kings. Would you select Darren Peterson?
Pass. and here's the thing. I have to pass. It's a hard pass. And here's the thing. He is absolutely gifted. There is no question that when he is playing the game of basketball, there is something elevated about him. It is not normal. It's not just that he's good and, he worked hard. He has a gift. The problem, though, is as everybody knows, there's no secret about this. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't know. Half the games in college, and again, he's 18. I have a son that's exactly that age, and I mean, I'm old, different generation. I get it, but if if my son was looked at right now as a college, he's a sophomore, I guess. Actually, no, he's still a freshman. If he was being looked at as a first-round NFL pick, that dude is playing with bones sticking out of him. And it's just in his soul, because he freaking loves to play football. That's what he loves to do. He loves working out, and he wants to play no matter what. And I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm just saying that's kind of what it takes if you're going to be a professional athlete of any of this pro sports. You have to do things no one else is willing to do. I get it. If you're not right, you're not right. I understand that part too, because there were times when people had to tell me, look, you're going to be worse if you go out there. You have a broken hand. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to play. And so they made a little plastic thing for me. And that was when I was with Sacramento. I had a broken hand for a while, and I sat out for a minute, but then I was like, make a plastic thing, and they had to improve it with the NBA so it wouldn't, become a weapon. They wanted to make sure it was only half of my hand that was covered, so it wasn't like, okay, he's got a club. But I didn't sit out as long as I should have. Maybe I would have had a longer career. So back to Darren. Look, he is special. There's no questioning that. The question is going to be, are the Kings organization, if they're picking him, if I'm in the front room, in the front office or whatever, the war room, whatever you want to call it, and I'm sitting there going, okay, we're the first pick, that's the guy. I'm looking around the war room going, all right, you guys want to pay full salary for 45 games, maybe? Or do you want to go second and look at this other dude that's probably going to play 80 games, and we're not going to make the playoffs this first year, but maybe we do. And if we do we want someone on the team that we have seen when they're going to face tough talent sit down right before the game? Not even a warning.
If I'm the Kings, I'm not taking a guy with red flags. I'm sorry. I'm not taking another player with red flags. I'm not doing it.
That's my point. And so, again, it goes back to when you're looking at the guaranteed money that is a first-round pick and the endorsements and all that stuff that goes with it, I'm sitting here going, I'm not. I spoke with the assistant GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Nick Collison. Last week, I was there in Kansas with him, and he was at the game, at the Arizona game. He wasn't there to watch Darren because they don't have that pick. He's not even close. So I asked him, I said, what do you think? And he said, look, it's out of sight, out of mind, because if we had that pick, we'd be talking about it, but we don't, so we're not really even considering it. But he goes, yeah, it's kind of a question mark, but I'd probably take it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the NBA in a nutshell, isn't it, Nate? GMs
Yes, it is.
are scared to pass on a talent that might prove them, that might make them look dumb. Because the Sam Bowie thing is still out there, and these GMs are like, oh, people passed on Sam Bowie. They passed on Michael, and they picked Sam Bowie instead of Michael Jordan. And because Portland already had Clyde Drexler. So it makes me laugh to think that people in these powerful positions are that scared to make a definitive choice that makes sense when you're the bottom dweller of the league and you're going to go, yeah, we're going to take a maybe. We're going to take a kid that played half of a college season and gave up on his team. That's harsh. I don't mean to say that.
Have you watched a lot of college basketball outside of Kansas, like a Cameron Boozer and some of these other hot prospects? Have you watched enough to talk about them?
Boozer every day of the week and twice on Sunday before I would take anybody else.
Why?
I watched Arizona. I watched BYU, the kid at BYU. Boozer is a producer. That kid's going to play every day. And guess what? His dad did. So it's in his genes. It's in his DNA that he's going to show up and play hard. He may not be the most talented. I'm not saying he's going to be the best absolute player. I'm just saying, do you want a guy that's going to make your team better immediately and play every game? Or do you want a guy that's going to be in and out of your lineup based on how he feels? And all of a sudden, we messed around and made the playoffs. But
yeah, well, the Kings are looking for a franchise player. They're for really a player that they really haven't had. They're looking for that guy that can be the moniker, that can be the Sacramento Kings franchise player.
Well, then that's the old story, right? Small market, pray, make a trade.
Yeah,
because you're not getting in the draft. Not this draft. There isn't a franchise. Look at
you don't
Wemby.
think so, huh?
I'm sorry, but no, I don't think there's a guy that's going to change your franchise around in this draft.
Wow. Very interesting, because there are those hang on a minute. The reason why I think that is so interesting that you just said that, the perception from a lot of people is that in the top 2, 3, or 4 picks in this draft, there are franchise-altering players. You don't agree with that?
I disagree completely.
Okay.
I really don't. Unless it's somebody besides the guys I'm talking about. The guy, Darren, the guy from BYU, anybody on Arizona, and Boozer. Is there somebody else that I'm not thinking of?
No, Devansa, Boozer, Peterson. Maybe Caleb Wilson is on there, but no, you're right. But you don't.
Yeah.
You think they can be very good, but you don't think they change the landscape of your franchise.
Not at all. Because here's the thing: even when Darren is incredible, he's playing college talent. He's 6'4".
Is he done growing?
I don't know, but I would assume so at 18 years old.
Okay.
Is he going to sprout up to 6'8"? He's an athlete. I mean, he's
probably
an incredible
not.
athlete, and he dunks on people. But when you think about 6'4" in this era of NBA basketball, the average height is 6'8". He's going to have a 6'6", 6'7" guy guarding him most nights. And he's not Steph Curry. Can he shoot? Heck yeah, he can. He's not Steph Curry. He can't bump out to the logo and just pop it. Maybe he can develop that. But that's going to be his game because he's not going to be driving around 6'8", 6'9" guys and dunking on 7-foot guys every night because he's never done that. So at 6'4", that's another question mark I have with the kid. And again, he's magic, like magical. He's not Magic Johnson, but when he is good, my goodness, he has a gift. It's really surreal. Yeah. When he does what he does, it is incredible. So maybe 6'4" is enough with the amount of talent that he has. That is just natural. It's a gift. I want everybody to understand. I fully believe that he's the most gifted player in college basketball right now. Yeah. But my question is the red flag of is he going to play? Is he not going to play? That's drama. No one needs that. It's least of all the Kings. No one needs a 6'4" guy that's going to come in and come out thinking that he's 6'10" and can dribble up the court. He's not Cooper Flagg. He's not. And I'm not saying Cooper Flagg is going to change the Dallas Mavericks forever, but certainly looks like he's doing them a favor right now. Yep. From what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of NBA basketball, but from what I've seen, he's doing them a favor so far. I don't see anyone in this draft of the guys we've talked about being a guy that's going to take the Kings out of the cellar. Boozer will come in and be. It's another Kansas guy, and I'm sorry, but Drew Gooden. Do you want a double-double? It's a guarantee with Boozer because Drew Gooden was a double-double machine. Did he change any franchises he played for? No, but I love that dude. I played with him 1 year in Cleveland. He's a Kansas guy. He was a little bit behind me in Kansas. Just saw him last week, too, because him and Nick were together when I saw him. And, I mean, it was great to see those guys. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, these are guys that, you know, you call them role players in the NBA, but double digits. Nick Collison played 16, I think, and I think Drew played 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want a guy like that that's going to be there every day? Yeah. And I know Sacramento fans love that kind of thing. But is either one of those guys going to take you to the promised land by himself? No, absolutely not. And neither is Boozer, and neither is a guy that plays half the season and steps out on you when it's like, oh, we're playing the number one team with, you know, best team in the NBA is playing tonight. You know what? My stomach's upset. I don't think I can play. How do you do that? How do you pay a guy $12 million as a rookie to do that?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Hey, when you're out in public, do you ever have anybody come up to you and go, hey, you're really tall? That never happens when I'm with you. No, and you go, hey, you're really ugly. If I had $1 for every time we were in an elevator anywhere where someone walks in and looks at you and goes, hey, you're really tall. I mean, and your reaction and some of the comments that you've made, I'm literally trying not to wet my pants because I'm laughing so hard. Oh my gosh.
When it happens every day of your life, you get practice, right? Like I'm in the Wilt Chamberlain phase now where I'm just kind of like, when somebody says, how's the weather up there? I really fight. Honestly, everybody listening, when somebody says, how's the weather up there? I honestly fight really hard, and I'm losing because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Soon, I'm going to be like Wilt. When somebody says, how's the weather up there? I'm going to spit on him and say it's raining. I'm just saying. I'm getting old. It is getting old.
You're going to spit on them and say it's raining.
Yeah, you know, that's a famous Wilt Chamberlain. And no one walks into an elevator and there's a really obese person in there and you go, wow, How much did you eat today? What do you weigh?
Wow.
You're the heaviest person I've ever seen in my life. No one does that. No one does that. But it's okay because it's good to be tall. Come on an airplane with me. Enjoy being 7 feet tall on an airplane, Nate. You know that. We've been there together. You're too tall to be on an airplane. You're 6'4". Ridiculous. They keep putting seats on them like, oh, we need to make more money. Meanwhile, the CEO makes $34 million a year. The union's putting $1 billion on top of $1 billion year on year. Maybe we could cut that out a little bit and make airfare a little cheaper and put less seats in the plane so normal-sized humans can relax and freaking giants can have a little bit of breathing room and not have to fly in the most expensive seat in the house. That'd be nice, but you know what? Whatever. I'm complaining. I'm 0.01%.
Hey, how was the
population.
leg room on how was the leg room on the Concorde when you flew that when you were with Kansas?
You know what? It was magic.
Yeah.
It was 2 and 2, and I was sitting next to Rachel's friend on the way home. He's a little taller than me. I think he's 6'11", like barefoot. I'm 6'10" ¾ So, you know, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we were sitting next to each other on the way back, and there was no problem. 2 and 2. Now it was shorter cabin. Like it's not like you can just stand up and walk.
Sure.
But it also helped there was a supermodel on the plane with us on the way there, though. You know, when Elle McPherson, and this is for the old guys out there, when Elle McPherson's on your flight, and I mean that kind of like the way there, we were just like, oh, I've seen her in a swimsuit.
Love it.
She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated back when they had that.
Hey, before we let you go, the foundation, you and Dawn, the Pearl of Life, you got some big events coming up. And did I read somewhere you're actually going to start a golf tournament as well?
Yeah, pearlsoflife.org, pearlsoflife.org. I'll repeat it. I'm a volunteer spokesman for the charity. My wife and a friend of ours made. She's the CEO, president, and all that. But it's not CEO because no one makes money. But we were going to have a gala again this spring, and we just couldn't pull it together in time. So we're going to push it to the fall. And because Dawn and I have done so many golf tournaments as guests for celebrity golf tournaments around the country, and as well as the many years that I took over after Gail Sayers handed me the reins for the School of Education at the University of Kansas, they created the Multicultural Scholarship Fund, and I was blessed to be asked to take over the reins from Gail Sayers when his health started failing. And we took that golf tournament to new heights. We started a bowling event out there as well, and we created lots of scholarships. Anyway, because of that and experience, and Don had experience running golf tournaments before we even knew each other. And so we're going to add that hopefully July, I think 27th is the tentative date. And it's going to be here in Indiana. But we haven't done a save the date yet because we're still, got to talk to the board and make sure the board can handle that. And then the gala will be this fall. That's more of a black tie event.
Awesome.
Formal dresses and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, pearlsoflife.org. Follow on Facebook. And there's Pearls of Life Inc. on Instagram. Twitter, it was all taken, so we don't have a Twitter. But I talk about them all the time. So follow me on any of the social medias. Yep. You'll hear about them.
Big boy, love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Great catching up with you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks for having me on, brother. Love you.
The best, Scot Pollard. Classic radio. Absolutely classic. We talk about charity, right? Pearls of Life and everything they're doing. And I love people that are charitable and are always willing to give back to the community. And that's DAS Mechanical and Nick Delancey and his family. Are you, or do you know, a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? Well, DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. And all you need to do is go to dasmechanical.org. That's D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org, and nominate yourself or someone you know to receive one with installation. So again, so simple. dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. fill out the very short nomination form. And again, you just nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. We'll come back. Your reaction to what Scott had to say next on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabbruds. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabbruds or visit Gabbruds.com. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
It's back, Sacramento. Fox Sports Radio and Elk Grove Chevrolet are proud to present Capitol Beerfest Saturday, March 7th at the Capitol Mall. Join us for a day of sampling God's nectar from over 70 great brewers, plus music and food, and at the Fox Sports Elk Grove Chevy Lounge, get a great cigar and meet Grant Napear. Most important, of course, 100% of Beerfest proceeds benefits Runnin' for Rhett Youth Fitness. Get your Beerfest group together and get your tickets now at CapitalBeerfest.com. That's Capital with an O, Beerfest.com. CapitalBeerfest.com.
Maybe it could be said that New Year's resolutions are simply meant to be broken. If, like most people, you've already abandoned your promise to live healthier in 2026, you're not alone. But when it comes to being healthy and happy, it's never too late to hit that reset button and start living your best life. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we get older, things change. A lot of us will experience lower energy levels. Some of us may experience a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can be caused by low testosterone levels, which can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center located in Midtown. Living your best life is something you can get started on today. Visit gettingbetternow.com.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Well, I have to tell you, Olden, Polynice, Scott Pollard today. Radio Gold, huh, Rhino? Man, that's good stuff. Good stuff. You can call the show, 916-779-0929. Good stuff.
It's really hard to produce that. You can't.
Man. Wow.
Great conversations, partner.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate that. Again, you can call the show at 916-779-0929. Grant, Rhino, got to be honest, Scott's comments about the upcoming draft doesn't sound very promising coming from a guy batting 1,000%. Well, in terms of getting a franchise-defining player, maybe, but you can still get a very, very good player. And again, that's just his opinion. Grant, great segment with Scott. I agree about Peterson. Wouldn't take him. Not 6 pillars material. Yeah. Let's get to some phone calls with Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Lynn, what's going on? Lynn, going once.
Grant, how are you doing?
Good, Lynn. How are you?
Hey, Grant, how are you doing tonight?
Good.
Great interviews. One thing I always appreciate your show, Grant, is the interviews you do, like you had with OP and you had with Scott Pollard. It's great to hear Scott Pollard on here. I know he has some challenging medical conditions over the last couple of years. It's so great to hear how he has changed and how he's able to live 2 years after he went through his transplant. I remember seeing your thing with Scott when you were at Vanderbilt. It's just amazing. 2 years later, and he's still there. And he's just one of the favorite guys I always liked when he was at the Kings. And the reason why I was calling you was I want to talk about Sac State football. Saw your tweet over the weekend. That thing blew up. And one thing is I can't wait for tomorrow because you're going to have the guy from Yahoo
Yes.
Sports talking. And those numbers blows me away. And I can't understand why the president said, hey, my business accounting department, which is one of the best in the state, can you look at this and see that this is correct? Because those numbers that the consultant gave him is unbelievable. I don't even think Alabama or LSU can pull those numbers. I mean,
I'm with
I
you.
don't know. What do you
I don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me.
It just blows me away, and this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen to Sac State, because I'm an alumni at Sac State, and I mean, I went to the football games when I was out there, and I support the plan. There were not the plan, but I support the programs out there. And I mean, we got to know what Sac State is, what it is for. It's a good school to go to school, good degree. Yeah, it has a great sports programs. A lot of students go in there and get a scholarship and be able to get a great job out of that scholarship because they went to a great school. And I think that's what that school should be made for. I don't think it's a Division I school. I remember a long time ago, that one coach said, we're going to be the Florida State of the West Coast. And they have all these big dreams, and they'll never be able to accomplish it. They got to respect what it is. It is a great business school. It's a great school for other sciences, too. I mean, you look at some of the best companies here in Sacramento. A lot of them came from that school.
Yeah.
And it's not because of sports, it's because of education.
Yeah,
That's
good-
just
good-
my take
good
on
points.
the Sac State. Well, Grant,
You know what? Good stuff.
enjoy your long weekend. Enjoy your long weekend, Grant. I
Yeah,
always
it was
appreciate
great.
your show.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have another one coming up this weekend. I will be off Friday. Ryan will be in this chair on the Friday show. So I appreciate that. And then I'll be back on Monday at 3:00 and looking forward to the big Sacramento Beerfest on March 7th that I will be appearing at. And so hope people can come out. We'll have fun on March 7th. So we got a lot of great things going on here in the area.
That's for sure. Well, have a good one, Grant. Appreciate you taking my call. Take care.
Hey, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Good stuff from Lynn. So as far as Darren Peterson goes from Kansas, again, I just think he might be the most talented player in this draft. But when you're 18 and I got to worry about whether you're going to play or not, I'm staying away from that personally.
I thought it was more interesting that Scott didn't see a quote unquote star or generational talent coming out of this draft, which is across the grain from almost everybody that's looking at this as a scout or a pro that you see writing on the big websites.
Yeah. Well, when you think about generational talent, like Scott told me when the Kevin Durant was coming out of Texas, he came out after 1 year. He told me before the draft, anybody that does not take him number one should be fired. And he wasn't taken number one. Greg Olden out of Ohio State was taken number one by Portland, and that ended up being a disaster. And he said to me, he goes, if you don't take Kevin Durant with the number one pick in this draft, you should absolutely be fired on draft day. So, you know, he's been pretty good, actually more than pretty good. He's been really, really good with forecasting college players, especially the Kansas players. He has not been wrong yet. He was right on Ben McLemore. He was right on Frank Mason. He was right on Thomas Robinson. Everyone I've asked him about at Kansas, he has been accurate on. He has not missed once, not one player out of Kansas at the next level, either pro or con. He's been spot on.
And he's not watching from afar either.
No.
He's connected to that program. So there's a little bit of base behind his words in terms of whether it's legit or not. I just, you know, I thought he laid out the perfect kind of draft era that we're in where it's turning much more subjective rather than objective. And also, Greg Oden, there's no way he was in his 20s. They got something wrong there.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
Am I
Greg
wrong?
Oden.
Am I wrong? He looked
Wow.
like he was 40. Looks like he was ready to go into the hall when he shook.
Unbelievable.
Was he shaking David Stern's hand then? Probably. Or was it Adam Silver?
But, hey, Seattle had a chance to take him, and Portland had a chance to take Kevin Durant, and they didn't. Seattle got him.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right. we are going to take our final break, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show. Hey, if you missed hour number 1, it will be replayed coming up next hour. I will be over on YouTube tonight and X at 7 o'clock with my Open Forum Wednesday show. So hope you can join me in a little more than an hour from now. Final segment straight ahead on Fox Sports Sacramento.
If you need a new set of top brand tires, Downtown Ford Sacramento has great news for you. For a limited time, we'll beat any competitor's price on a new set of 4 tires. Then kick you down a mail-in rebate of up to $150. And that includes major brands like Pirelli, Bridgestone, Yokohama, and Goodyear. Some restrictions apply. Visit downtownfordsacramento.com for details. Downtown Ford Sacramento on Howe Avenue. Online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabbruds Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabbruds now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabbruds, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabbruds. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabbruds, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabbruds. Gubrud's. Gabbruds.com.
Do you need new tires? Have you been putting it off? Don't wait any longer. Get the best in tires today and save. Get to Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. For the best selection of Bridgestone and Firestone tires, all on sale and on-site ready for your car or truck, get to Expert Tires and Brakes to save big on sets of Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard, Sacramento. Expert Tires and Brakes, the best place for tires and brakes.
Maybe it could be said that New Year's resolutions are simply meant to be broken. If, like most people, you've already abandoned your promise to live healthier in 2026, you're not alone. But when it comes to being healthy and happy, it's never too late to hit that reset button and start living your best life. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we get older, things change. A lot of us will experience lower energy levels. Some of us may experience a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can be caused by low testosterone levels, which can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center located in Midtown. Living your best life is something you can get started on today. Visit gettingbetternow.com.
Final segment. Fox Sports Sacramento, Grant Napear with you. Over on YouTube and X tonight at 7 o'clock. All right, bold prediction of the day, which I don't know if it's that bold. Have we seen Domantas Sabonis, Rhino, play his last game recently, about a week ago, for the Sacramento Kings?
Yes, undoubtedly. Scott Pollard, sure.
Okay.
You?
Yes. Yes. What about Zach LaVine?
No.
Okay.
You?
No, I just don't think it's going to be possible to move him.
I think they're going to bite the bullet for one more year because then he's off the books rather than stretch it out and have an obligation.
I would agree.
Maybe you can come to a buyout at the trade deadline if it makes sense for both sides, but I don't know how the buyouts work against the CBA. But back to Domas this season, although he only played 19 games, his assist and rebounds were the lowest since 2018 and 19.
Yeah, I don't find that hard to believe that his assists were the lowest because, number one, he doesn't have anybody that can shoot. Number two, they didn't give him the ball. So I understand that.
Yeah, it's kind of the second, though.
Right.
You know, it's not like the Kings were shooting the ball great the last 2 years, right?
That's true. That's true. But in order to have an assist, you have to have the ball in your hands, correct?
Believe so.
Yeah, because you have to throw the ball to another player and they have to make a basket. So in order for that to happen, somebody has to throw you the ball first, or you have to go get the ball first or whatever. But this offense, which, by the way, Doug did not think was a problem months ago, is one of the worst looking offenses in the history of the NBA.
You could make an argument there is no offense. The exception to the rule is when there are plays being ran. It's a bunch of freelancing with ball needy players.
Well, whatever it is, it's been very puzzling to me. And we'll get another look at this offense, minus Zach LaVine and minus Domantas Sabonis. Tomorrow, Keegan Murray is back. DeAndre Hunter looks like he's back, so that's good news. And it would be nice to see what he can do in the final 26 games, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. You're bringing him off the bench, though, right?
Well, at this point, it really doesn't matter. But if I'm planning on starting him next year, no, I'm going to figure out a way to start him. But I don't know how you would do it if you have Keegan Murray back and you're going to – you can't – I mean, it wouldn't be right to not start DeRozan based on the fact that he's played in every game and you can't do that, can you?
Well, no, you just move Domas back to his you move DeMar back to his natural position, the 2, which has been one of the huge Kings problems, getting guys into their natural positions. So
all right, so you start Devin Carter at the point, which what you and I would do.
Yes.
You start DeRozan at the 2, Hunter with Keegan Murray and Max Reno, correct? That's your 5.
Man, I'm torn. I'm torn about Neek. That's the one because he needs as much action as possible. I think
he's been given a lot of chances, and he'll still get a lot of chances in 26 games. But I don't see him right now. I can't pencil him as a starter for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, he had a bad game going into.
He's had a bad year, not a bad game. He's had a bad year offensively. He's had how many times have we talked about him looking good offensively this year?
Once.
Count him on one hand.
Yep.
I like his game defensively. I like how he guards. There are a lot of things I like about him, but offensively, he's got to make a big time improvement.
100%. Yeah.
So you would still start him, and you would have Hunter come off the bench, correct? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm leaning that way. Yes.
Is Hunter in your future plans without even knowing the makeup of the team, but just trying to forecast and look into your crystal ball? Is he a starter next year?
Not sure. To be honest with you, he's being paid like a starter, but he's only here for one more year.
Okay. What about okay? So do you think? All right, let me ask you, without even knowing who the Kings are going to select and draft, assuming that they have a top 4 pick, which I think that they're going to have, but let's just, for sake of conversation on the radio, assume that. Are we penciling in whomever that individual is as a starter on this roster next year?
Outside of Ace Bailey type situation, most likely, yes.
I would agree.
And here's the thing I think we've forgot about with Hunter. You know, with the contract expiring next year, everybody's thinking this is a long-term player. This was just as much about getting Schroeder's contract condensed and into 2 years as it was, I think, about Hunter, because you already had a little bit of a logjam backing up at that position.
Correct. And here's something else about the draft. And I really hope that this franchise has learned this over the decades. I don't care how strong you are at a certain position when you evaluate your roster. If you get the number 1 pick in the draft or the number 2 or wherever the case may be, and you think that that is the right player to take for your franchise, but you already have a good player at that position, too bad. Take him anyway. Take him anyway. All right? Do not draft for need in the draft this year. You cannot afford to do that. You need to take the best player on your board, regardless of the position.
Even if you are confident that it might not be the first or second pick for another team that is drafting the way that you just described, but somebody that could translate along the lines of, and please understand, I'm not calling them an MVP, but a point guard that's the style of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you wouldn't tweak that a little bit because of the Kings' gaping hole at that position?
Nope. I am taking the very best talent in the draft, and I don't care the position that they play.
So
you can go back to 1985, taking Joe Klein instead of Karl Malone because you already had Otis Thorpe, who, by the way, was a really good power forward, all right? Or you can go back to the draft of 5 years ago or 6 years ago when you took Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic because you had De'Aaron Fox and you were convinced that Luka and Fox would not be able to play with one another.
Great point.
You thought you had a franchise player. And so you did not take Luka, not because you didn't like him as a basketball player, but you already felt that that position was locked in stone and that was going to be your guy. So they didn't take him. And there are many other examples in between, okay, such as taking Thomas Robinson over Damon Stoudemire for the same reason. And we can go on and on and on. No, you do not worry about the position. You take the best talent, and I don't care the position that it is.
Okay, that is hard to argue with. And I could stand here and say that no position or job should be safe on a 12-win team.
And I don't disagree with that. I'm just making the comment that you know and I know.
Okay.
There are 1 or 2 players on the roster currently that are going to be here next year.
Okay, so is that Darren Peterson then? If you're the number 1 pick.
If I, as a general manager, feel that Darren Peterson is the most special player in the draft, I'm taking him. If that is the evaluation that I have made as the general manager, then I'm taking him. Okay. Now, if it were me, I'm not just looking at talent. I'm looking at everything. And recent memory being DeMarcus Cousins and others, I'm not taking a player with red flags. You can let those red flags be a problem on another team. They're not going to be a problem on my team.
Here's another problem that may, if you believe some of the reports out there, be an issue for Scott Perry, is Peterson doesn't exactly seem like he's going to be a volunteer.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate those reports are as it relates to social media and everything. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that. My experience is they don't really have a lot of options and a lot of choices. And name me the last NBA player that's been drafted that decided they weren't going to play in the NBA for that team. I'm not worried about that, huh?
Name me the last top pick that was making as much money in college as they would their rookie year in the NBA.
Understand it's a different playing field, but the dream is not to play in college. The dream is to play in the NBA. And what makes you think that the situation would be any different the following year if you're going to be the number 1 pick in the draft? You're going to go to a team that in all likelihood was one of the worst teams in the NBA. So why would you think it's going to be different 12 months from now?
You could have an Indiana Pacers situation.
Unlikely. Those situations like the Spurs when they draft Tim Duncan, they don't come around every year.
Okay, well, what about the Dallas Mavericks?
Again, they got very lucky. That's very unusual to have a team that's 11th get the number 1 pick in the draft.
The team with the worst record has not gotten the number 1 pick since 2019, 2020.
Right. And so part of that is in this year's draft, if you're 2 or 3, that's fine. Because a player then in that
scenario almost falls into your lap.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Is there more pressure drafting at 1 than 2 or 3?
No question about it. 100%. Yep. Because I will tell you, and I would disagree with Scott on this one, of the players that are coming into the NBA in June's draft, there is one player that will end up being very special. Whether that's Tyrese Halliburton, who was taken where he was down in the draft, or a Nikola Jokic, who was a second-round pick, whatever. There is that player that in a couple of years we're going to look back on and go, wow, okay? You need to make sure that you take the wow player if you're drafting number 1 in this draft. There is a wow player out there. It's up to you to identify that individual. We're not going to have a conversation 5 years from now when we look back at the 2026 NBA draft and go, boy, what an overrated draft that was. Gee, nobody ended up being an all-star. Nobody ended up being that guy. No, we're not going to have that conversation. That we will be talking about that individual or individuals 5 years from now. Or less.
Spot on.
So you've got to identify that player, and you have to take them. And then you have to cultivate your team around them and keep them, unlike what you did with Tyrese Halliburton. Now, in all fairness, you got an all-star in return, but I think if you could go back in time, now there are also the argument, well, gee, Halliburton wouldn't have done that much in Sacramento. They wouldn't have known how to build a team around him. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but if you're just looking at apples and oranges, if you're just looking at this and you're taking a look at the player, you had a special player, and then you traded him.
Is he okay? I guess it would have been Luka too. Are those the 2 players that are that guy that the Kings never have had?
Well, they had one, and they get traded him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Him and Luka. Those were.
In my opinion, the Kings have never had a Luka Doncic. That's correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and they've never had, in my opinion, a Tyrese Halliburton. And he's a different type of never had because he's not a flashy, like, star. Does that make sense?
And you know what? That is so sexy to Sacramento, too.
Yep.
I think that's
you know
what
what?
makes it hard.
I don't care about sexy anymore. I want wins if I'm Sacramento. All right? I don't care about sexy. I want wins.
Oh, see, I think there is a style of play that is conducive on top of wins to get that home court at the G1C back anywhere near what it was at Arco Arena.
You know what will do that? Winning. That's what will do that. Wins and losses. If you want that to happen, win. That's what will happen. Okay? Win is more important over style. Because Sacramento, they're desperate. They need to have a winning basketball team. They need to have something they can be proud of. They'll get behind a winning team regardless of the style that they play. They will. They will. Now, will that happen? I'm going to say I would say probably more unlikely than likely just based on the owner, but it can happen. I mean, the Detroit Pistons 2 years ago were the Sacramento Kings, and they're running away with the East right now. So miracles do happen. Hey, 7 o'clock tonight, YouTube and X. I'll be doing my Open Forum Wednesday show. Tomorrow, we're going to talk more about Sacramento State with a national writer from Yahoo Sports. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to getting something to eat and getting ready to do some more work in an hour. My thanks today to Olden Polynice. My thanks to Scott Pollard. For Rhino in Sacktown, this is Grant Napear. Thanks so much for being a part of our day on Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye now.